Welcome everybody to While Your Weekend live cooking show. We are live. We are super live. If you're here for the first time, if you're here for a number of times, we welcome you. We're doing our ever famous 10-minute meals. 10-minute meals are so popular on our channel. They're highly requested. You guys love them. We love them too. We love showing them to you, and we're gonna do that today. We've got Dylan in the kitchen.
Hey you guys, hello everybody, welcome.
I'm Reebs, I'm on the Reebs cam. I just float here above the screen the whole time.
Not
I don't know
always.
why.
Sometimes you take up the whole
Sometimes
screen.
I'm big.
Hello everybody, we are cooking live. If you're new to the live cooking show, I hope you'll sign up and join us. We're doing our free trial. Everybody waits for January with great excitement because we do our free trial, and we are doing today's show live on YouTube, which is very rare. So if you want the recipes from today's show, there's a link right on your screen. Where is it? Right there. Sign up. It's free to sign up right now, and you get access to every recipe that we have ever made. All of our recipes are made for our membership audience. We have a live cooking show membership if you're new, and this is our 133rd episode. So we've been doing this for 5 going on 6 years now. Holy smokes.
Wow.
We had Reeves' 100th episode recently.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are cooking 10-minute meals. These are all meant to be really fast, easy meals so that you can stick to this way of eating forever. We eat a healthy whole plant food diet free of the animal products, the processed salt, oil, sugar, junk food. This is all real wholesome ingredients that will promote your health instead of diminish it. So if you'd like to learn more about what we do, please go sign up. We'll be talking about it all day here on the show, but go sign up and you'll get the recipes in your inbox as soon as the show is done. And we'd love to have you. You'll get access to everything we've ever done. You also get a 10% off discount. We'll talk about it a little later, but I don't want to make you wait too long before we get started. But yeah, to our members who have already signed up, you don't have these recipes yet. They will come after the show. We don't do it as like a cook-along because I've prepared things. There's no way you'll keep up to me. But these are 10-minute meals, and I do believe you'll be able to do them in about 10 minutes too. And if it took you a couple extra minutes, whoop-de-doo. So this is not a YouTube video, by the way. This is our long-form, hour-and-a-half-plus cooking show that we never put on YouTube, but we're doing it as a treat today so that you can learn more about what we actually do and hopefully support us. Now that you've signed up for the free trial, what I need to do is convince you to stick around for good.
Yeah.
So we are going to be doing the 10-minute meals today, which is all about simple, easy recipes, making it very flavorful, but really easy to get there. And then next show in 2 weeks from today, same time, same place, we're going to be doing deconstructed meals. Here they are. Whoops, that's the Reebs. Here they are both. There's our show for today, and then on the 19th, the deconstructed meals. Deconstructed meals just means, you can explain it better than I can.
Yeah,
because
I sure
just asked
can.
you to explain it to me now a few days ago.
It's taking a recipe that takes a lot of steps and eliminating the steps so that you just get the flavors and you don't have to go through all the trouble. I mean, stuffed pepper soup is one of our examples. Why stuff the peppers when you can put it in a soup and get all the ingredients?
There you go. I love it. You're the one who introduced me to the whole concept, and boy, is it a time saver indeed. We've made sushi bowls.
Yeah.
We did the stuffed pepper soup, of course. Our potato corn chowder that we put up on YouTube this week came from our very first ever 10-minute meals cooking show. We do this every January. We do 10-minute meals, and so you get access now to the really, really popular potato corn chowder that we did. We will be talking and hanging out in addition to cooking. As you can see, we haven't been cooking yet. But please, get comfy. If you haven't eaten, it's really a good idea to eat first so that you don't cause any kind of psychological turmoil along the way here. Because it can be tough when we're eating 4 different meals today, folks. We are making an African peanut stew with no chop. No chop. Well, actually, we'll talk about one thing I'm going to chop, but it's not part of the recipe.
It's just a special surprise.
I made this for Rebecca this week, and she absolutely loved it. So I'm thrilled to be showing you a really fast, easy way to make this rich, creamy soup. We're going to use a little peanut butter, but we'll talk about different fat-free options along the way for those of you that are avoiding any of the nuts and seeds and things like that because you're working on weight loss this month. What else are we making? We're making a stuffed sweet potatoes. We're doing that second. Then we're going to make a mushroom stroganoff, a play on the old, very unhealthy beef stroganoff, you know what I mean? And it's also a really fast, easy meal. Just cook some pasta. Well, you'll see. We'll get to it. And then we're gonna do a wrap. We like to do a wrap at least a few times a year because it's such a fast, easy way to get the calories, the healthy calories in. So we will be talking about a wrap, and we'll modify that too. Oh, forgot to pull out the romaine lettuce to make a little lettuce cup version, but we'll play around. I'm not gonna be in a rush. We're gonna be here as long as that takes to do a good job. And if you have other 10-minute meal ideas, send them our way. We love to make them on the show. But we're working on a whole entire 10-minute meals, or maybe we're calling it 20-minute meals to be safe, cookbook. It'll be a whole cookbook of all these kinds of meals. Reebs is in the chat box. If you wanted to read something loud, just make it obvious, and we'd be happy to talk about. You can get me off the rails. No problemo. No poblano.
It's pretty easy to do.
So we'll try to cook and we'll see what happens.
Well, you're kind of a big dill, so you know.
We are cooking with dill today.
So did you tell the first timers how to get the recipes?
Go ahead.
Okay, if you've already signed up for the show and that's how you got the link, you will receive the recipes after the show. If you're here live because you just happen to see us on YouTube, you have to sign up, wellyourworld.com/cooking show, and then you'll get the recipes after the show. But we always tweak things along the way. It's a collaborative effort, and so that's why we don't send the recipes out beforehand, because we perfect them with your guys' help.
Absolutely. Many of you have named our recipes. You've added ingredients along the way. Anything in my fridge is fair game, and you know that fridge is full. So if you've got ideas along the way or modifications, call them out and we'll talk about them. Please take advantage of the live chat, or even the replay of the chat is so much fun. There is so much to be learned. Our regulars in the chat, I know that there are going to be a lot more people than even normal, but our regulars in the chat are so awesome. People come new to the show, new to this way of eating all the time, asking tons of questions in the chat, and it's like getting free consultation from all the people who have been here for a long time supporting us and know exactly what they're doing. So in addition to us reading some aloud, we won't get to everything, so use the chat, help each other out. This is our January challenge month too. Cass put a link to the January challenge. If you haven't done that, this is where you'll learn more about the January challenge. You can watch one of our YouTube videos like 2 back. Okay, let's cook. Now let's lay it back and just relax.
Yeah, just
I've
relax.
done all my intro stuff.
I hope that you ate already. A lot of people said in the chat that they either made potato corn chowder for lunch today or for dinner yesterday. So
very nice. Well, we made mushroom stroganoff for dinner, and you are going to love it.
Yeah, I sure did.
But that's not what we're doing first. We're doing the African peanut stew first. I'm actually just going to get my pot. I haven't even preheated this thing. I'm going to put a lid on this. I had some pasta water. Slightly warmed.
And we have some newbie questions I'm going to pepper in.
Please.
While you do it.
Absolutely. Okay, let's get started. This one, the prep on this is like a 5-minute meal, but you have to cook it. You have to heat it up and cook it, which you can do in 10 minutes, or you can do it in 30 minutes if you want to. The more you cook it, the more tender everything's gonna be, the flavors are gonna come together even more. But a lot of the time, who cares? When you're already at 80%, do you need to get to 85, 90, 95? Just, the 10-minute meals are so great for just getting food in fast. But you can modify these. You can use fresh ingredients. Obviously, we're gonna use frozen sweet potatoes today for this African peanut stew, but you could use fresh, we have cooked sweet potatoes for one of our dishes as well. So don't feel like you have to do it just like this. We're using frozen onion. So let's just get right to it. I'm gonna throw in, this is a bag of Kroger chopped onions. You can get them at Walmart, you can get them at Fry's, you can get a bag of frozen chopped onions, almost any grocery store that I here in town anyway. I don't know how it is in your part of the world, but I'm trying to use very accessible ingredients, okay? This is like a 12-ounce bag. If it was a 10-ounce bag, just the same. They just give you a couple extra free ounces, you know what I mean? But whatever works. Sometimes there's some little skins of the onion that didn't quite get out. You could pick through it, but whatever. Okay, 2 bags of sweet potatoes. Check this out. Great product. Sweet potatoes are a little bit harder to find everywhere, I've noticed. This is a 10-ounce bag of frozen cubed sweet potatoes. We're going to use 2 of them. This brand was from the store Sprouts, if you have one of those. But if you have trouble finding the sweet potatoes, get butternut squash. Delicious flavor. It's a little bit less calorie dense than sweet potatoes. Not that it matters when we're talking about starches. But Butternut squash is usually pretty easy to find everywhere. Why? I don't know. Is butternut, I would feel, if I had to guess, and I was an alien from another planet, I would guess sweet potatoes should be the one all the stores should have, but they don't. But you might find them, but you'll certainly find butternut squash. Look at how beautiful. Oh, beautiful. If you let them thaw, it'll cook even faster, but you don't need to. Let's throw this on. I'm gonna throw a quart of stock on and we'll get this heating up because this is a quart of low sodium veggie stock. This is the brand I like, but we're coming out with a veggie broth powder very soon.
People can't wait for that.
I really hope it's not more than about a month to 2 months at the most. But we're really close on it. But this is a nice low sodium. I like the Pacific brand. Actually, I think the box, they might have done a rebrand and the box looks different now. Okay, let's go to the stove. We'll turn this on and get it started and we'll throw some more stuff in. You know, if I was making this myself, I just throw everything in and we're done, but I want to slow it down a little for you. So I'm doing these 10-minute meals in a longer amount of time on purpose.
So you would just dump and go on this one, you're saying?
Absolutely dump and go on this one. There's nothing that needs to go first, second, third, or any of that. So let's keep talking about ingredients while that begins heating up. What else have we got? We did the onion, we need some garlic. Let's set all this on here and I'll tell you what it is. I'm not telling you all the amounts because we send out the recipes. If you want the recipes, make sure you're signed up. There's no cost to sign up. You can cancel anytime. You can cancel before your month's over if you don't want to stick around. But I'm going to try my hardest to convince you to stick around by doing a really good job on these recipes, okay? And if you haven't gone back to our Christmas episode yet, please do. It's like my proudest moment. It was the last show we did. Here's what we got: garlic, some cinnamon, cumin, coriander, and a little bit of crushed red pepper. You don't have to use the crushed red pepper if you don't want it. You could use a little black pepper or whatever a little bit of heat you like to go for. Let's throw this in the pot.
Looking good already.
Yeah, this is a really nice one. It gets really rich and creamy and delicious. Hard to believe you can do something like this so quickly. Oh, ginger. So I want to talk to you about that actually. Let me just give that a stir and then I'll tell you more about ginger.
So we had a couple of people asking if we can't watch it live, can you watch a replay?
Yes.
Of this episode?
Go ahead, Reeves, you can answer that.
If you are a member, yes, you can watch all 100 and what will be 133 past episodes as long as you're logged in. So sign up if you're not a member. If you are and you're having trouble, you can email us at any time. Our email is hello@wellyourworld.com. And oh, look at that, we got a super chat.
We got a super chat? Well, thank you. That's very kind, very, very generous.
Karen, for all your proud moments.
Oh, thank you, Karen, for all your proud moments. I love it.
And then somebody else was asking when we go live. Is it random or how many times? We typically go live, we do go live twice a month for the cooking show. And then the day before we go live on YouTube for free. Mm-hmm. But if you're on our email list, you're always gonna know when we're going live.
When you're a member, whether you're a free trial member or you've already transitioned to paying the $15 a month, you get access to every recipe we've ever made. I mean, if you wanted to go to the trouble, you could download every PDF. I'm not gonna make it so easy you hit one button and you get everything, because the point of the way the membership works isn't for you to go download everything and then keep it on your computer in a big mess of files. It's to be able to go and find the recipe you want on demand and grab it real quick, maybe watch a little bit of the video if you had a question, and like that. So. But I just wanted to clarify, like, you get every recipe we've ever made, every recipe that's in our cookbooks, every recipe if you sign up for the free trial. Plus our brand new recipes today. When you see a cooking show, they're brand new recipes always, and then maybe a year later we'll put them on YouTube. Let's talk about the ginger, like I was gonna say. So I tried this recipe this week using these adorable little cubes of ginger that you can buy at Trader Joe's. Where were you? You were at Walmart.
Yeah, I was at Walmart.
I can't believe Walmart had such a fancy little product. But here is the crushed ginger in these little cubes that you can use. Why go to the trouble though if you got ginger powder? If you want to, I didn't find this to have a very potent flavor. Like using like truly fresh, never frozen ginger is like a pretty strong flavor. But I'm gonna use ginger powder today, and let's figure out together how much we wanna use. Maybe I'll start with a half teaspoon, but I have a feeling I'm gonna want a whole teaspoon. You know, I was trying to look for these conversions online for ginger, and they're like a tablespoon of fresh ginger is equal to a quarter teaspoon of powder. I'm like, no, there's no way. That sounds crazy. I mean,
well, the powder is strong.
The powder is strong, but when you eat like us, you need a little more flavor because we're not getting it from all the oil and garbage. So I like a little extra gingery flavor. But let's start with like a half teaspoon, and this is a whole teaspoon, so I'll just half it kind of like that. How about that? And then when we taste it, we'll see if we want to add a little bit more. Let's just let this start heating up.
Can you use cooked sweet potatoes in this recipe? Yes, Real.
What do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
I would batch cook all of your favorite starches. So if you like sweet potatoes, have them in the fridge. Regular potatoes, brown rice, we usually batch cook. So yeah.
I put in a quart, but I think it's gonna need more like 6 cups once it starts getting creamy. So start with a quart, and then you can just add, you know, always with soups and stews, you just add a little. If you prefer it as a soup, add a bunch. If you prefer it as a stew, don't add so much. It's completely up to you. If you let it get kind of thick and dry, it's almost just like a simple one-pot meal. Let's throw in a can of chickpeas. Try to find the no salt added. This is from Sprouts. They sell a no salt added chickpea. You can't find garbanzos everywhere. You can usually at least find the low sodium version of chickpeas. But give them a good rinse, and you'll get a lot of salt off, but not all of it. Let's throw these in. This was a really nice touch. I have not made African peanut stew with chickpeas, and we decided to add it just for some extra starchy oomph. And it was a really nice texture and obviously flavor too. Now, when we did it this week, we used a can of tomato paste. I was gonna use a can of diced tomatoes because I want it chunky, and then maybe a can of sauce. What do you think? The reason I liked the tomato paste was great, but I want a little bit of tomato bite. So I wanted to use at least a can of the diced tomatoes. These ones are from Winco. I love the store Winco. I'm gonna be giving you all kinds of little tips, tricks, and hacks, but no salt added tomatoes from Winco, wow, what a deal. You can get a stellar price on no salt added pinto beans and black beans there too. Usually the pasta I like is sold there, which I did not get my hands on. We're gonna use a different one today.
I can't find that pasta anywhere
Is Barilla like going out of business? I'll buy it because I would love to sell that pasta. It is so good. The red lentil penne from Barilla is so perfect, and it doesn't like fall apart so easy. Let's get the can opener, and we'll throw these in too. Any other questions?
I do have some questions, and I'm just catching up. Some people were talking about your products, how fast they arrived, and someone had a question about the cheese sauce, saying that they noticed calcium chloride's listed in the ingredients, but
the cheese sauce?
They must be looking at a different product because we don't have anything like that.
No, there's nothing like that in our cheese sauce. You've got to be looking at somebody else's something. Okay, let's go to the stove and throw in this can of sauce and can of tomatoes. That's going to add some juice too. So when I said I used 6 cups of veggie stock last time, I might need less now because I used the sauce and the diced tomatoes, which are pretty liquidy. So this is looking very nice, and I'm happy with that. Yeah, I think it might end up being just the 4 cups of the broth because it's looking nice and soupy. So we'll set that aside. Oh, so when we make this the long way, if you want to call it that, we toast some peanuts, and I really I'll just show you that so you know, because it is a nice little tidbit. See, having peanuts in the house is very dangerous because you start with 1 handful and then you eat the rest of them. And I really do not like the flavor of raw peanuts. So I'm not going to grab a handful of raw peanuts and chew on them. So we like to keep raw peanuts in the house, and then I'll just toast them up either for like a minute or 2 at 350 in the Breville, or you can toast them on the stove, whatever you prefer, and then break them up, and you can just throw those in the soup and you have like a little chunky peanut. But we're doing the 10-minute version, so we're gonna use peanut butter. Yes, you can also use whatever it's called, PB2, things like that, as long as they're not, I don't like highly processed things, but it should be fine. So you want to use a little PB2 to flavor it, and because they take some of the fat out, you could do that. Let's put these back. We're gonna start with like a couple tablespoons. I used a lesser version, a lesser amount than some of these other recipes doing it stews online that I used for my little research, but it really does not require much peanut butter to make this creamy and
just
flavorful.
needs a little hint of peanut butter flavor.
I put in like 1/3 of a cup, and it was like, oops, that was not the right amount. So let's go and let's just play with like a few tablespoons. I can't imagine we would ever need more than 1/4 of a cup. This is starting to get to a boil, so I'll turn it down just a little. And we're gonna let it simmer. We're hanging out. It's been about 10 minutes, and already this thing's up to a boil, so it's really just a matter of getting it to cook tenderly as you like.
Tenderly.
There is a tablespoon of peanut butter. You can ripple it around if you want, but it's gonna melt. There's 2. I'm gonna start with 2. It just looks like so much.
Yeah, 2 looks like plenty. Mark says, my biggest struggle in sticking with whole food plant-based is I think what you call amnesia when it comes to cooking. I know variety is possible, but all my attempts to cook kind of taste the same, so I give up.
Why don't you speak to that? And I'll clean up a little.
Well, get ready for today's episode because I think that all of these are really different. And what we try to do often is, you know, pull from different like ethnicities. We've got an African peanut soup. We're gonna be doing like a Latin or Mexican inspired stuffed sweet potato. So if you switch up the spices, you can have some variety there. Or you can have some variety by segmenting it into like we have soup today, we have a wrap. You could always do a salad or a bowl. So, or just, you know, download our meal rotator and rotate out the recipes.
Pick very few recipes and just do them over and over. You won't be able to see the inside of the pantry door, but we have our cards from our meal rotator PDF on there. That's a free document. You can go to our website and get Cass will put a link in the chat here so you can download it. If you ever don't get our things after you sign up to download one, just send us an email and we'll manually send it to you. So yeah. But that is the way to do it, is to make sure. Oh, thank you very much, Ray. Hey, Ray, that's so nice.
Thank you.
Thanks for the super chat. But yeah, you just want to don't have too many. You know, don't buy our cookbooks thinking that you're going to make one recipe every day. You want to pick like 5 of your favorites and do them on repeat. That's going to be the best way. And like Reeb said, you can get a few different ethnicities. This is a pretty unique flavor, this stew we're doing right now. So I think you really like it. Let's see how it's doing. It's pretty much, I mean, we can let it sit and answer a couple more questions, or you could dig right in. The longer this sits, the thicker it's gonna get. It looks pretty soupy right now, but it will thicken up. Go ahead.
What?
Oh, you laughed. I thought maybe that meant you had something to say.
I just like to chuckle. I'm just having a blast.
She's a chuckly lady. Oh, we gotta talk about this. I forgot there's one more ingredient.
Oh.
You know, I better look at my list and make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, we got all this. Okay, so one of the last ingredient, which you could put in now, or you could put it in after it cooks a couple, whatever. Oh, this is starting to boil too much. Chopped kale, you can buy frozen. You can also buy a bag of chopped collard greens. Oh, you can use spinach. We got all kinds of options in the fridge, folks. So here's a bag of just simple this one was from Kroger I got the other day.
Oh, that's in the fresh section.
In the fresh, yeah. This is a bag of fresh pre-chopped collard greens. And it does have some stems in there, which if you're doing this and you're not gonna cook it very long, you might wanna remove the stems. But if you're gonna let it sit, the stems cook and they soften and they're really nice. So you don't need to remove the stems if you're more patient. The other option would be a bag of frozen chopped kale from Great Value, which is Walmart. You can get, they often have frozen collard greens also at Walmart. Not always, but they do.
I looked for them yesterday and they didn't have them.
Baby spinach, AKA tender spinach from Kroger also. You could just take a couple handfuls and throw it right in. You could chop it a little. Oh, you could use a frozen chopped spinach. You know, I don't like big pieces of greens because I don't want to wipe my face 50 times when I eat. But, so I do like to chop them up, which is what we're gonna do, and I'll explain. So I'm gonna put these 10-minute versions away. This is how you do it for, this is what our recipe is gonna say, is like use the frozen chopped collards or chopped kale or fresh prepared greens, whatever. Don't put these in the freezer, bro. So yesterday on the live hangout, for those of you who don't know, the day before our live cooking shows, which are normally not aired on YouTube like this one is, but the day before, we do a live free hangout Q&A where I'm just sitting and Reeves just sitting and we're just talking about whatever. And really the purpose is to have fun, but also to make sure all of our equipment is working for today, which is where people are actually giving us their money. So definitely tune in for those. They're fun. It's a fun hangout. We had Otis on yesterday, who is now what? Almost going on 3 months old, 2.5 months. Mm-hmm. Time flies. The holidays were so fun with a little baby. And one person said something about fresh chard. My sister didn't even hear this because she was watching Luca, our 1-year-old, and by sheer coincidence, she brought over some chard. Someone said something about fresh chard, and I said how my sister is growing the most unbelievable
I can't
Swiss
believe
chard.
how big that is.
And then all of a sudden it's here, and she brought it over this morning. Can you believe it?
Without even hearing it.
And she didn't even hear it. And she brought fresh dill that she grew in her garden. My grandmother would be so proud.
Looks just like your shirt.
Oh, and it smells divine. So we'll be using my sister's fresh dill.
You could have held it up.
I blew the joke.
Yeah, you sure did.
So let's get this off the stem. You could just pull it off like that. And now you got this. You can put this in your veggie stock. You can boil up some veggie broth or something. You can save these if you want. It's up to you. But look how easy it comes out, and away you go. That's a lot. Let's just start with 2 of these monster leaves.
But the stems are so good.
I know, but I'm not going to let it cook long enough. I mean, I could let it cook long enough, but I need the stove for the rest of the show. So I took the stems out. So now let's just chop these up because I'm picky about, like I said, the size of the greens. So check this out, and you can see how I chop them up. So I just chop them into long strands first. Woohoo, there we go.
Veg Dub says, since I live alone, I usually make a soup stew and then add the greens separately when I heat up my serving for the day so they don't get slimy.
Yeah, you can do that. I only find spinach gets slimy like that. The other stuff I haven't had an issue with, so I will be okay with putting it in before, but I love that idea. It's a great idea. You found something that works great for you to keep you liking the food and coming back. Happy to hear it. Now I'm just turning these leaves and cutting the other way. Okay, nice, big, beautiful. Let's just go right to the stove and throw it in. And we'll do a little bit more. How about it?
Kim says, yum, fresh homegrown greens. How lucky. Winter needs to be done here.
Our winter is like the best growing season. It's our summer where you can like only grow basil and citrus. Well, now the citrus, oh man. We have a lot of really nice citrus this year. We got mandarins, we got blood oranges, we got sweet oranges. We have 2 types of grapefruit, the ruby red and the red. It's the only thing I can grow well. I was growing other things, but I keep killing everything. So I'm loving the citrus, and we squeeze it for juice. We'll use it for cooking. We have a really nice lemon tree that we use those lemons on the show, probably will today. I might have some carryovers from before they just like turned yellow and ripened like a week ago. Okay.
Can we get a round of applause in the chat for how beautiful that stew looks already?
Round of applause emojis in the chat for my sister's beautiful Swiss chard, gorgeous. I might even throw in one more because I feel like I could use more green in this pot. What do you think? Let's do one more.
Put it back on the stove.
Oh, whoops, there it was.
I love those colors. I love the green and the sweet potato.
Here's a yellow. She had a yellow too because it was a rainbow chard.
Nice.
So let's do that. Is she getting some? They applause emoji'd. Karen, you're getting emoji'd over here. There's a little more. Here, check it out. This is smelling so good, by the way. I think You know, I'm gonna have a taste for the ginger and for the richness from the peanut butter. And by the way, you don't need to put the peanut butter in. We mentioned the PB2 as a lower fat option, but you know, it's one of those things where if you leave it out, we put in a ton of other flavors in, you're not gonna like miss it. So let me just, I'm gonna grab my, my Asian soup spoon and just taste this broth. Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Are you guys excited for this dump and go soup? I mean, so fast.
What did I start with, a half? I'm doing a whole teaspoon of ground ginger. Is that aggressive? I don't think it is. I like it. It's good where it is, but I could use a little more ginger. Let's stir that in. Let's turn this down a touch. This is just beautiful. Now,
And it says she's gonna try it with almond butter.
Oh yeah, that would work great. No doubt about it. Cashew butter, whatever you like, is gonna do wonders. If some of you are coming off of a month of very unhealthy eating, you may appreciate a little bit of richness in the food as your taste buds readjust to a healthy palate. You might like a little bit of extra peanut butter in this because you're coming down gradually from December.
That's a. I'm glad you mentioned that, Dylan, because a lot of people think you have to do like, you go from like, you know, you're either coming from the standard American diet or you fell off course, which happens to all of us. It happens to me, happens to Dylan, happens to us all. And they think that you have to go into like strict SOS-free, salads. Yes, some people
thrive that way.
Some people might prefer that way. Some people might have to do it that way for health reasons, but if you have the choice, you can always do it a little gradually, like you said.
Mm-hmm. Nice. All right. Well, I'm down to taste it just like it is.
We had a really nice comment from Judy. Tried several choices of cooking show subscriptions and blogs. Yours is the most practical for anyone who wants good, healthy food quickly and not get caught up in diets, calories, and I can't even say it.
Macronutrients?
Macronutrients.
Thank you so much. That's the world's best compliment because that's what we're trying to be. We are not trying to give you an education on every ingredient that we do. We're not trying to be food scientists here. We're not trying to be chefy. We're just trying to get you the food as fast and easy as you can. I don't even like calling myself a chef. I don't consider myself a chef. I just consider myself a smart cook with experience. Less experience than many of you and more experience than many of you. And if I can help you to get to where I am as faster than I got here, then that's what I wanted. So, but no, we're not the type to like do the things that you complain about. So thank you. Okay, shall we? What do you think, Reeves? You're gonna need it to cool down. I mean,
yeah.
Reeves can't handle the hot food like me.
It has to be cooled down the same as our 1-year-old son for my mouth.
I use a hair dryer on the cold setting to cool down Luca's oatmeal in the morning, for example. And that works really well, but I'll have to start doing that for you too, hey Reeves. Maybe I'll do it right now, just kidding. Oh, look at how beautiful that is. Oh my goodness.
And you know, with this soup, what I like to do sometimes is take a potato masher and break up the chunks. I don't always love to do it that way.
Do you want to do that? You want me to do that?
You can, well, if you want to show them.
Let's see how tender the potato has come out. I'll just taste a piece of potato.
It makes it like a little creamier.
The potato could use a few more minutes of cooking. Because it doesn't come like, cooked through like it would be for the baked potatoes. Mm-hmm. So you could let it cook a little bit longer, or you could speed it along by doing the mash trick like Reeves just said. That'll cut some cook time down too. Mm-hmm. But let's have a taste.
Batman says blend 1 cup and mix it back in.
Mm-hmm. Great idea for adding some creaminess. This is so good.
How does Dylan eat it so hot? I don't know.
I don't know. I got it from my mom.
People are asking, can you Instant Pot this recipe? You can. It would probably only take a minute or two in the Instant Pot.
Yeah,
but I would think that to bring it up to pressure and then release the pressure would take longer than the 10 minutes it takes to cook it on the stove. So if there's a benefit for you doing it in the Instant Pot, go ahead and try it.
Definitely less peanutty than before. Mm-hmm. So I could add a little bit more. Should I do it? It has enough, But you could add, I'm gonna put on the recipe 2 to 4 tablespoons of peanut butter, and then it's totally up to you. But this is great. The greens are already nice and but they're like al dente, the greens. I love it like that. What do you think, Reeves? You wanna go for it?
Sure.
It might be hot.
Well.
Actually, not might, but it is.
Definitely hot. I'll just leave it over here for a moment.
Okay, I'm gonna move it over here.
Is anyone, who's Team Dylan that burns their mouth and who's Team Reeves that, like, I can handle it closer to room temperature?
I get a lot of comments from people, don't burn your mouth, you're gonna burn your mouth. It's kind of a shtick we do here, is I eat the hot food and sometimes it burns my face off. But I don't do damage, okay? I don't eat the whole bowl hot. I let it cool a little.
Ellen says you could serve a little peanut butter on the side for those who want it more rich.
Absolutely.
Ever look at the chat? Team Reeves. Scott says burn, baby.
Thanks, Vicky. Appreciate the support. Devon, all right.
Karn says burn my mouth, but
Karn's
she's related to you.
Okay, that's number 1. What do you think? Should we go on to number 2?
Melt your teeth hot is the way to go.
Number 2 is the sweet potatoes. Let me grab the stuff, and here it is.
Did you guys like the first recipe?
Yeah, tell us what you thought of the first one. Is this something you'll do? Please also make sure you're in our Well Your World Facebook group. Cass, you could drop a link in the chat, but that is where people share photos. It's a support group. It's not a customer support group for Well Your World. It's a support group for you as people supporting one another. So do post your recipes. If you try these out, of course you could give us a shout out if you like the show. Tell people to join us. This is a free trial after all. Yeah, it's an amazing group. Any questions you have, they get answered. So pretty awesome group.
Love dump and heat recipes. Thanks. Can't wait to make it. Does it freeze well?
Well, I mean, why not? Do you freeze a stew? If you can freeze a stew, you can freeze this. It's going to come out a little even mushier, but like...
I don't freeze things, I just eat them till they're gone. Yeah,
I eat them till they're gone. That's not that big of a pot. Even if I was one person, that'll be gone by tomorrow. If it was just me, it'll be gone by today because it's not just me. But yeah, I'm not much of a but some people like to make many recipes in bulk, then freeze, and then they have a wide variety of things when they thaw it. There's nothing wrong with that. Whatever works for you, you gotta do. My go-to technique isn't that, but it's okay. Okay, so in the Breville over here, this is just a little oven. It's you can't see me, I'm Reeves. Wait, I have 4 arms?
Oh. Wait, I'll get down further.
I'm grabbing some sweet potatoes out of the Breville that we cooked just this morning. I recommend always having potatoes ready. That's why this is a 10-minute meal, because it assumes that you already had the potatoes in the fridge ready to go and you could just microwave them to reheat them. I did 415 degrees on bake mode, convection bake, and I started with 40 minutes and then I added 10 more. So it depends on the size of your sweet potatoes too, of course. So don't be afraid to bake sweet potatoes and store them in the fridge. They are a real treat. Luca loves them, the kids love them. So do it. Let's put them on a plate and we're gonna make, essentially what we're making is a stuffed sweet potato that is, take a cooked sweet potato, cut it open and put all kinds of deliciousness on top, okay? So let's get to doing that and we'll use this pan, I guess.
KJPB says, okay, I have to admit, I can't figure out the arugula. Never heard of herbivore shirt. Can someone explain it to me?
Arugula? Never heard of herbivore. Did that help? Did I get you there? There's really nothing. It could have been any first word.
Yeah.
It could have been a sweet potato, but most people have heard of a sweet potato.
It's assuming that people think arugula is some random lady's name.
Because of the word herbivore.
Yeah. We sell all of our shirts on the Well Your
Words. That shirt was never supposed to get onto the website. That was one where we made it and we do a vote on our Thursday hangout I was telling about. And everybody votes on the shirts and we're like, well, that one we made so that it would be a 1 thumb or a 1 star or whatever we do for our rating scale. And everybody loved it. So we sell the shirt. If you vote the shirt up, we'll sell it.
It's our top selling shirt. And I'm not trying to offend the person that didn't get it. You shouldn't get it. It's dumb.
Well, it's not dumb, but almost. Stuffed sweet potatoes. We're gonna saute up some veggies and some flavors. We're also gonna make a little chipotle aioli that we actually invented a couple shows back, but it was so good that I wanna bring it back. A fly in the house? How can this be?
Shoot.
Here's what we're starting with. Maybe I'll show you the bags because especially for the peppers and onions, because they're more rare. Like you can get this roasted corn that you see here at most places have a brand.
Yeah.
We always buy it at Trader Joe's because they always have it, but they also always have this, which is a really nice touch for this recipe. And it's just a fire roasted bell peppers and onion mix.
One of my favorite.
And so it's like a fajita veggie mix, and it's frozen, and it's really nice for this. So I've got about a cup of this and some corn, and we're gonna throw that in here. And
Someone's asking, can you use russet potatoes instead of sweet potatoes? I don't know if they're asking for this recipe or the last, because the answer is yes.
yeah, definitely for this a stuffed regular russet potato. I love russet potatoes. I like russet potatoes more than sweet potatoes, broadly speaking. But that doesn't mean I don't like sweet potatoes. But if I had to pick just one on my deserted island or whatever the thing is, that's the one. Okay, so we threw in the corn, the peppers. Here are the beans that I was telling you about that I get from Winco. They're Sun Vista brand, and they're a no salt added pinto bean. Winco sells them, and a black bean that way, which is pretty nice. I rinsed it. I did rinse and drain it first, and we just put it back in the can. So I took the liquid out, okay? As you can see there. Okay, we're gonna saute this up. What else are we putting? Let's get the burner started, and we'll get it heating up. Now we'll do it over here. This is an induction cooktop, which is so nice because it doesn't heat everything around the stove. You can still enjoy all of the handles. Oh, this induction is so amazing if you're ever on the market for a new stove. Okay, we got some flavor here, and then these tomatoes are for after when we dress it all up. Okay. And again, I'm just going to use veggie stock during the saute to keep things from sticking. Simple, simple. And here's what I'm going to throw in with those items. Let's make sure I got everything. We got the pinto beans and the corn, the bell peppers. Nice, nice, nice. So now we're going to do some cumin. We got some cumin, oregano, crushed red pepper, some smoky paprika. It could be sweet paprika too, whatever. A little black pepper. And that's what we're going to throw in this mix. This is a very quick and easy little saute we're doing, okay? We're practically just heating everything through because it's already cooked enough.
Yeah. This is a recipe my husband will definitely want. He's always asking for stuffed sweet potatoes.
Oh, good. Good, good, good. I hope you like the sauce. It is so, so, so good. This is kind of a Latin theme that we're doing here with the stuffed sweet. This is just veggie stock I had left over. Oh, it smells so good already. My goodness. So we'll just let this kind of heat through and soften. Oh, I think I'm going to want more veggies. I'm going to want more veggies. I'm doubling the veggies for this recipe.
Nice.
The corn looks okay though. I like the corn amount. There's about a half. And another,
I love those peppers.
Cup. Yeah, I really like these peppers. You want me to use the whole bag? Look at this, Reeves. Do you want me to use the whole bag? Can you see it on the screen?
Yeah, use the whole bag.
We're using the whole bag. Woohoo!
Because you already have the starch from the sweet potato.
It's a 14-ounce bag of peppers and whatever.
I'm almost ready to start my African peanut stew over here.
Oh, you're going to do your taste? Oh, man, that smells so good. The smoke, you can smell the smoky paprika. Smoky paprika is nice. One time I was talking to AJ when we did a show with her, Chef AJ, and she's like, I love smoked paprika. I'm like, I don't care. And then I've been using it ever since she said that more, and it is pretty nice.
You know, smoky, you have to add in more flavors and variety when you eliminate salt and sugar. I love the smoky flavor, and I also like heat and spice. And Dylan, you always say, like, if you can't stand the heat, you better start to learn to tolerate it, because it's an excellent way to add some dynamic flavor to your dish.
So true. You know, you may not like heat, and just the mere thought of it bothers you. But boy, if you can just add a tiny bit of heat to your food and over time get a little bit of a tolerance, it does, in my opinion, make eating this way so nice. Because we're not hitting the fat from all that oil and all that salt like everything else you'll ever eat out in the world, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it makes a big difference.
So to touch on some other things like smoky, this is so delicious.
While you're doing that, while you're talking and tasting, I'm gonna chop up some cherry
You got
tomatoes.
the peanut butter just right this time.
Now you can see. Oh, I'm a little hidden.
Oh.
In this view. We'll just keep it here. Whoops, here.
You know, you guys.
What did you say about the peanut butter? You thought it was just right?
Oh, perfect.
Oh, good to know. I almost brushed over that because I couldn't hear you.
I always tell you guys at the beginning of the show that if you haven't eaten before the show, you need to. I didn't, and I could devour this whole soup in a couple more bowls, I swear.
You could just half these cherry tomatoes. We're just gonna sprinkle them on our potatoes. We're not doing anything else with them. New knife. My last knife, I finally, it takes me about a year to 2 years to go through a knife on the show from sharpening it over and over, you know? And I got a new knife and wow, it's just so much like wider than the one. It was getting to where my knuckles were slamming into the cutting board because you sharpened it. I pulled out my sharpener in case you guys wanted to look at that knife sharpener today that we talked about on a few of the last shows. I did pull it out. It's just a matter of how long do you want to go, okay? How long do you want to go? All right, let's go to the stove. It's a sizzle.
Nice.
And that's that. I mean, this is ready to go. As soon as it's heated up, you're done. And boy, does it smell good. You can let this sit. I added a fair amount of juice. So you can let that boil off, but you can also just not take the juice. I mean, there's a lot of flavor in that juice though. You can put the juice right on the sweet potatoes. Heck, what am I talking about? Okay, we've also got, we can make that sauce, which is really fast. This is another sauce that you could have ready in the fridge to make this a 10-minute meal very easily. We're gonna top it with some coleslaw mix. Didn't have to chop or anything. I'm trying to minimize your need to chop, though I do love to chop. So let's just turn this to low, or lower anyway, and we'll just let it kind of simmer lightly. You're not gonna really overcook it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Pig Moose says, I love sweet potatoes. We'll have to try this. Pre-making potatoes was one of the best tips I've used from this show. Excellent.
Oh, good. What other things like that? I mean, having things ready in the fridge is definitely a game changer. I don't need the liquid from these cashews, right?
No, you don't. I just soaked them just because. You don't really have to, but I did.
If you have a Vitamix, you don't need to soak your cashews. We're gonna make a bit of a creamy sauce here. I'll tell you everything that's going in.
Marley's, I hope I'm saying your name right, says, I love having found you. I've been dabbling for a while and joined recently because I love most of your recipes and especially your presentation and commitment to those of us who are learning.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Yes, that is our commitment indeed. So we have some cashews and some soy milk. I soaked the cashews in case you have a lower speed blender that's not a Vitamix. You might want to soak them to get them soft, but in a Vitamix you definitely don't need to. It's gonna allow me to blend for a little bit shorter time on the show, since we're live and all. And then we've got a couple of deglet dates. You could use our date powder, is like our freaking world famous product now. This is like, has been my go-to ever since I had Luca. I've really been using our date powder. And you just kind of, if it settles at all, you just go like this, and it's a beautiful, fine flour. Look, you can see it coming out of the jar. But it's just a beautiful, light, airy, just flour that is a sugar replacement. And so when I make his oatmeal, Luca's oatmeal in the morning, I throw in some of this, and my gosh, he eats a bigger bowl of oatmeal than us. Yeah,
he eats his and then comes after mine.
Yeah, that's his definite biggest meal. He doesn't eat as much in the evening. I don't know what they're giving him at school, you know what I mean? Garlic, deglets. This is a chipotle. What do we call this? An aioli? Is that what our final wording was?
Yeah.
Whatever that means. I think an aioli usually has eggs. Obviously, this does not. And then back to the chipotle powder. So for the chipotle powder, usually the way we find it is in the little chili pods, which you can definitely buy on Amazon, maybe Cass if you can find a link for people. But you buy the dry little chili pods and then you throw them in your Vitamix and turn it into powder. And then I put it in a little spice jar, and you're ready to go. So that's what we do for the chipotle. And chipotle is not too hot. It's a smoked jalapeno. So it definitely has less heat than a fresh jalapeno. You know how that works because it's kind of cooked out a little. Mm-hmm. And then let's squeeze in 1 lime for a citrusy feel. Last time we did this with a lemon. Today we'll do it with a lime. You could do it with your favorite vinegar, white wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar, whatever. It's just acid and it gives it a nice little tang. So you want that.
We should be doing it with a lemon considering our tree. We
do have a very full lemon tree. If anyone needs a lemon, you let me know. I'll throw it in your box. Just kidding. I can't do that. It's not safe.
We've had quite a few viral sauces, though. Somebody in the chat just said they always have McReeves sauce in their fridge.
Yeah, and that's not the first person I've heard say that. The McReeves is really popular. We also made a McDillin on a recent episode, so a McDill sauce. And it didn't even have dill, did it? By the way, am I missing anything?
I don't know.
We got everything in there off my list. Okay, I'm gonna blend this. Be patient with us for just a moment. We might need to add a little water. We'll see. I'll get some ready. I'll speed that up too. A little bit, just a tiny bit of water to get the creaminess you like. Let's crank it. Oh, it smells good too. I could smell it when I opened it. Everything on the stove. Let's have a look at that. Ready to go. Okay, how thick did we want it? We want it where you can like almost squeeze it out of a squirt bottle, right? Reeves? How thick? I could add a little water. Also, I want to scrape down the sides.
No, you want to do like the drizzle on top.
So pretty,
you can
pretty
leave it thick.
Okay, but I see that a lot of my garlic didn't get blended up because it flew out the sides. So wipe down your sides and then give it another little go. Also in your lid, look, my lid's like totally full of goodness. So you want to get that back in the pot and then just speed up gradually so you don't throw it all over and it'll all get blended in. I love Vitamix. If you don't have a Vitamix, man, it's a tool we use a lot of.
People were just asking in the chat if it's worth it, the investment.
Yeah, it is. Costco usually is a great place to buy it because you know, they have a good return policy if it breaks. But it's not going to break. I don't know why I say that. But it also buys you some time to try it out. Because Costco, you can return things a little later. I'm not saying you should abuse the system. But it is helpful when you're making such a big investment to have a little extra time to decide if it's going to fit into your way of cooking and eating and all of that. I'm going to give this a rinse. Public service announcement, please rinse your blender immediately after use so it doesn't get all crusty and nasty. No one likes a nasty blender. Wash that blender. Back to you, Reeves. Oh, I'll pour it into this mason jar real quick.
Oh, so people were asking about your McDill sauce. Where is it? We do have a members index. I'll drop it in the chat. And you can search that. You can do Control F on a regular computer and Command F on a Mac.
Yep, you can find.
It goes straight to the episode, so. We
will, in the early part of this year, have a new website that will have a little bit of a better way. Because, you know, when we. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen big time. My bad.
Oh, we're just looking at those beans.
Hello.
Away.
Hey, I produced the show myself. We don't have anybody else in here but the two of us. But what was I saying?
You're gonna, our new website.
Oh, it will have a little bit of a better way of searching for the recipes, but like when we first started, we only had a few episodes. It's unbelievable that we've been doing this for so long to where now people are like, hey, we need a better way of searching the recipes. And I'm like, you're not wrong. I just never, I guess, thought of whoa, what happens when we have 500 recipes on our show? Which is nuts. Boy, am I doing the slow way of getting all this out. These are a pretty nice spatula, these little blender spatulas. Oh, I just licked it and it's real good. Oh, that smoky chipotle flavor too. Love it. Okay, I'm rinsing my blender, sorry.
That's okay. But, because people are thinking they're missing out on the McDillon sauce. I think that one, because the McRib sauce uses a little bit of ketchup, and that one uses a little bit of barbecue.
Do you have that squirt bottle?
Not in a way I can grab it.
Okay, don't worry about it. You can get a little, reusable ketchup bottle, squirt bottle from the store, Walmart, whatever, and you could put the sauce in and then you could drizzle it on all Instagram cute. But you know me, I don't care about that. Oh, I didn't rinse my lid, sorry.
Always rinse your blender,
Always
you guys.
rinse. Don't forget that lid. We're gonna need it again anyway. Imagine if I'd forgotten. I would have had to grab a whole other blender canister out of the cupboard.
Still, we have 760 people here with us.
Holy schmoker.
In our kitchen.
Here in the kitchen. Well, it's great to have you. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to sign up so you can get these recipes. Let's dress up this sweet potato. We are all ready to go. We've been on for almost an hour and we've made 2 10-minute meals. They really are 10-minute meals.
I know, we've been chatting.
We've just been hanging out and chatting. So we sauteed, which was like a 2-minute thing. We made a sauce, which I admit takes a little extra time if you even want to go to that extra mile. But now, let's dress up these potatoes. And then after this, we've got 2 more recipes to make. We're making a mushroom stroganoff, which is gonna absolutely blow your mind. We're doing that one next. And then we're gonna make a really tasty BLT or MLT wrap, whatever you wanna call it. We're gonna make some tasty sauteed mushrooms to be our B, because we don't do B. Okay, let's cut open. I got 2 sweet potatoes here. Is this a white one? I guess so, yeah, right? Ooh, nice. I was gonna cut just a slit, but I went right through it. Should I try again? This is meant to be a stuffed sweet potato.
Oh, I always think of stuffed on top.
Okay. Oh, so just
yeah,
like this?
It could be either one.
Okay, then there you go. You got 2 options. Because I usually don't eat the skin. I usually use the skin acts as a bowl almost. So I don't like go to the trouble of removing the skin, but I usually like do it with a spoon or a fork and I just kind of scrape the skin and I don't really eat the skin. It doesn't add much flavor. So, and the people that are like, oh, all the nutrition's in the skin, yeah, I don't care, I'm not buying it. That's called nutrient chasing and we don't do that around here. Just eat healthy food and you'll get all the nutrients you need. Mm-hmm. Save a few exceptions and that's between you and your doctor. All right, what are we doing? We're getting our saute mix, let's bring it over here. I'm gonna rinse this knife too.
Gina says, I have to go back and watch the show because I'm in the chat. A lot of people have to do that.
Yeah, we get that a lot, is that they weren't paying attention to me at all because they're having so much fun in the chat. I'm telling you, the chat is an underrated feature of the show that people really should not read over that and be like, oh, a live chat, we see that all the time. These people are special in our chat.
Yeah.
Let me get a little cork to set this pot on. And let's build a most beautiful stuffed potato. Okay, here is, oh, that came out nice. What else do I need? I think I got everything I need. So what goes first? Let me get a fork and a knife. We love doing this show. This is like the best part of our jobs because we can, it's the time we get to spend with people because we're not going to all the conferences and all that stuff because we're just working around the clock and we made babies. So this is our chance to really connect with people, to see what they like and what they want, and so it's the best. Okay, let's get a better spoon. Okay, here we go.
Okay, Dylan the chef.
Don't use chef
Getting
me.
Instagrammy over here.
Don't use chef me. Make a little divot. You can have a couple bites of sweet potato if you want to make some space for your filling. It's really good. Okay, let's get some veg. How do you like them apples? No apple in this one, but you know, it's one of those few phrases we can actually use. Oh, too much? No such thing.
There is no such thing.
There's that
You
one.
guys,
See,
look
now
at
that one really
this.
is like a stuffed. This one looks like a russet because it's so small. Then you can throw on, oh, heck, you could throw on some chopped fresh chard because you know I have a bunch of that. But I wanted to show you a little bit of, I would put a bunch of coleslaw on, but I do want you to be able to see what's
I like a
beneath
little
it.
crunch.
So normally I would put a big handful of coleslaw on top, okay? And then we've got our tomatoes. These were the tomatoes I chopped a few minutes ago. I love fresh chopped tomatoes on things. You know I love pico de gallo. Fresh homemade pico would be amazing on this too if you have it in your fridge already ready to go. And that's on YouTube. So, and in our book, our membership of course too. Okay, let's drizzle on that sauce. That's the last piece of the puzzle here.
A bunch of people are saying, I'm having this for dinner.
Yeah. We did, one of the earliest shows was a sweet potato.
Sliced avocado is a request.
Well, this is creamy, so, you know, we're about
Dill,
to do
you
this.
said that you would do the things that people tell you to do.
We have one avocado here. But is it ready? Yes, it sure is. We'll throw on a little avocado, okay? Give you some green color at the very least. We'll just do this little half, the little side. I take a butter knife and then I can dice it in the skin just like that. And then take a spoon and you can scrape it right out. And we'll scrape it right on top.
Janet says, thank you for offering the free membership month. I'm learning so much from you regarding how to cook plant-based more quickly.
Oh, thank you so much. Gosh, you guys really know how to compliment. Are these bots? Are you real people complimenting me so kindly? It's
so
the greatest
nice.
thing to hear. So thank you so much. We love good testimonials. Look at how good that looks. I need to rinse my hands. Okay, your avocado suggestion has happened. Reeves, you were right. But anybody who's avoiding the fat, you can make these choices for yourself, whether you want to put in the avocado. But avocado is faster than making the sauce. So if you do want to keep to a 10-minute meal, then, you know, avocado's there for you. Okay, we're still doing a drizzle though. I'm embarrassed about this because I am really a bad drizzler. Let's try it. Reeves is just a much better drizzler than, well, not bad. I've picked up some things from her.
It's beautiful. You're not going to go wrong. Look at all the beautiful things on top.
And then I just like go like that and ruin all my work. Okay, good. We did it. Save this for later. Okay, there you have it, y'all. We've got the most gorgeous stuffed sweet potatoes. There are potatoes under there, I promise. So definitely try this. Okay, let's dig in. Do you want to come run over here for a bite?
Yeah, I want to come over there.
Here, you do first bite.
Me?
Well, I got first bite last time.
It's like you
For
give.
those of you who didn't know, we are in the same room. She's only 2 feet away from me.
Yeah. A lot of people ask, is Reeves in a different room?
I need a water while you're
Or like,
tasting.
why is she up in the corner? Okay, I gotta get a bite of the sauce and a bite of my filling.
You can also grab more sauce if you want.
Oh, that is so good. Ooh.
Really?
Yeah. You know me, I always grab more sauce. Ah, stuffed sweet potato. What a delicious idea.
It's your idea. I just do what I'm told.
Perfect meal. Perfect.
There you have
Let's
it,
get a little
folks.
more sauce.
It is sauce. She's a saucy girl.
Remember when I said I didn't eat before the show? This is what you're seeing right now.
And now is when all the people watching get upset because they're not.
They're
eating.
like, yeah, or stop chewing into the microphone.
They don't usually give us a hard time about that because they want us to taste the food. That way they know whether to make it or not.
It's so good. Well, Dylan, you did say we might be like cheating a little bit on this one because we did have the sweet potatoes cooked ahead of time, but
if you do the potato trick, then it's definitely not a cheat. A cheating. Okay,
So
my
good.
turn. Let me get in here. I need to get all the different flavors. There. And potato.
You know, in a recipe like this, Of course, we give you the written recipe after the show, but we're really just showing you an idea.
Yeah.
You can put anything you want.
Don't tell them that. You gotta download the recipe.
You do have to do that. But we do get a lot of ideas in the chat box from other people, what they like to top their stuff with.
Yeah, we sure do. And did anybody say some other things?
I haven't looked. Well, we've got almost 800 people.
This is literally perfect. You said it right.
I know.
This is so good.
What did we forget? A little cilantro?
Oh my gosh, I forgot the cilantro. It's right here. I was gonna throw on a little chopped cilantro. Silly guy.
It doesn't need it.
Let's try again. We'll redo the whole taste.
I wouldn't mind doing the taste.
It definitely doesn't need it. And if you have to get the cilantro out, again, if you have the cilantro rinsed, and I like to rinse it, so I use a salad spinner, rinse it real nice and dry, and then you can also throw a couple paper towels and wrap it in there too, and it will absorb some of the moisture, and then close it up tight, and your cilantro will last pretty well. You'd be surprised.
Some people aren't cilantro people.
Oh, there you go. Well then, if you're not a cilantro person, you can either leave it off, you could do parsley, but this is kind of a Latin dish, so I just leave it off.
Okay, I gotta go in for my retaste.
Okay.
Just an excuse to retaste. I'll try a different potato.
I'll show it up close with the green too after.
With all the messy
Did I get
bites.
enough coleslaw? I would definitely do more coleslaw if no one's watching. Mm-hmm. But there you go, a little hint of green on your potato plate. It's pretty. It's pretty. Okay, I want another bite now too. Sorry, I hope no one's offended.
Serve this over rice and make it a bowl.
Yes, you could absolutely just throw rice in.
That is, yeah, you could put frozen rice in there and then you don't have to do the potatoes.
A couple of bags, probably for that amount, maybe 2 of those bags of the frozen rice. I think it's downstairs, otherwise I'd have shown it to you. Mm-hmm. But Trader Joe's sells frozen rice, Sprouts sells frozen rice. I even saw it at Kroger yesterday.
Thanks, Dill.
You're welcome. And that's a really handy product because, you know, for those of you who don't have stuff ready in advance, like rice, because rice takes a little longer to cook, then having the freezer bags really opens the door to using rice without thinking ahead of time. Okay, let's save this for later. I'll be crushing this as soon as we get off the internet.
You just place it right in view where I can just stare at it and
You
salivate
can eat it.
for the rest.
You can eat it. Just don't forget, we're on the clock here, okay?
Dill, you've done 2 10-minute meals?
Only 2. We're going sort of purposely slow. People like when the show goes long.
Yeah.
Get out of here, you're
Okay,
a weirdo.
This is why I'm not allowed in the same kitchen shot as Dylan.
That's not the reason. The architecture of the kitchen makes for this.
I'm just coming back into the chat, so I might have missed some stuff, but
Okay.
Barbara says, looks pretty chefy to me, Dill.
Get out of town. There was nothing chefy about that. All I did was cut open a potato and put some colorful things in it. If that's chefy, then boy, could I Catch Me If You Can. You know that movie with Leo?
Yeah. Sandy says, how do I find the recipes from today? Well, you have to be a member and you can sign up for free and we'll email them after the show.
Yes, let's take a moment to talk about our membership. Hi everybody, we do a live cooking show membership. Normally this is not broadcast live on YouTube. This is not a YouTube video. This is our live long form cooking show that goes for an hour and a half. In this case, we'll probably be going at least 2 hours. We're about an hour and 10 minutes in. But we make recipes, all of our recipes that we do on YouTube, in our cookbooks, everything is developed here on the show first. We are inventing it for you right now, or this week, you know. But that's how that works. We go live 2 times a month, just like this, 2 Fridays a month. You get access to all of our previous 130 something episodes, our 500 recipes. You get everything when you're a member, even if you sign up just for the free trial. And you get the free month and you can get access to everything. So some of the other things, by the way, our next show is going to be Deconstructed Meals 2 weeks from today, which is another along the lines and theme of making things really, really easy and fast, which is obviously 10-minute meals was, and Deconstructed Meals is taking things that are a little more complicated and making an easy version of them. That's kind of what I say. And then tell you a little bit about our show real quick. 2 a month, like I said, you get a 10% member discount on everything in our store, whether it's a digital ebook, cookbook, or a food product, or a t-shirt like the ones we're both wearing today. those are 10% off everything. We're doing a bundle deal right now, by the way, I'll come back. We're doing a bundle deal right now, 20% off. Well, when you're on your free trial or your regular membership, you get an extra 10% off on top of that. So it's 30% off for 7 of our items right now. Go to our website and buy that bundle. We also have, like I say, the community interaction is amazing. I've been talking about that the whole show. So, and you can cancel anytime. We don't do any shenanigans with the canceling. We're not Netflix. We'll actually let you cancel if you want to cancel. So we would love the support. Now my job is to convince you to keep going, to keep watching our membership, and to enjoy more of our shows. Thank you so much. Jennifer, Super Chat. Wow, thanks so much. Thanks for the recipe index. Congrats on your growth. We're super excited to try the new products and see your family growing. Thank you very much. Our work family is awesome. Our own family is awesome. It's been, you have helped us to live the dream. So thank you so much. And I'm so glad that our content is actually useful for you. That would be a real bummer if it wasn't. So next up, what are we doing? Stroganoff. Did I get, this is not the stroganoff, is it? No, this is not the correct recipe. We'll come back to you, but looking good. Thank you.
I love the trays.
Here's the stroganoff.
You know, I know it's our job to do a cooking show, but putting the stuff out in advance is so helpful when you're gonna do a recipe. Mise en place, they call it. But if you have a partner that's like, I can't cook, like, honestly, you guys, I barely cook here. But what I can do is set everything out for Dylan.
I love that you're bringing this up.
That way we can share the load a little bit. I could set it up for him and I could clean after he's done because he's so much faster at cooking than me. So why wouldn't he do that part of it?
That's such a good point, and it is so nice. It just makes it that much emotionally easier to get the meal done. When Rebecca's like, hey, you know what I want for dinner? First of all, when Rebecca says what she wants for dinner, I love that because I have recipe amnesia too. And if you just tell me what to do, I will do it. I'm a machine. I will make it. But then she'll pull out all the ingredients. She doesn't even necessarily have to measure them for me, but sometimes she does, and that even saves even more time. But she'll literally open the cookbook or what, because it's usually, we really only cook our recipes. That's why we made them. We made them for us, and we're giving them to you too. But it is so nice to just come in. She's got the book bookmarked, and then all the stuff sitting out, and I can whip it up in like 15 minutes. What would have taken me, you know, another extra 10 plus minutes of pulling things out of the cupboard or something, in theory. So thanks for bringing that up. That is a great trick. Mise en place, whatever the heck that actually means, is so nice. It's so nice to have everything prepped, and then like you cook it and you're kind of cleaning along the way too, and then it makes so that, because you want to, as soon as your meal is ready, you want to eat it. And then after your meal, you don't really want to come back in the kitchen and have to clean up, and then that's what leads to dishes piling up for days. So definitely try to do it like us, and where you're kind of cleaning along the way. Well, on the show, we don't clean along the way. We have a whole storm of dishes at the end of the show, but that's cool. All the mess in its place, that's literally what it means? I love that. If that's what it means, then I'm gonna go learn French.
Yeah, I thought it meant everything in its place, but I didn't know it meant all the mess in its place.
I hope it means mess. I really hope. Okay, here's what we're doing, folks. I have some fresh mushrooms, but they were pre-sliced, and I just rinsed them and put them back in the container. But this is a pound of mushrooms, okay? This is a mushroom stroganoff we're making. If you don't know what the stroganoff is, it's like a creamy gravy sauce with pasta, mushrooms. Oh, I gotta get the pasta going. That's part of the 10-minute meal here. Thank goodness I thought of that. Let's get this water boiling. Let's move some stuff out of the way. This one's gonna go over here. Okay.
Sandy says, I love watching the banter between you guys. Well, it's between you guys too. Because you're the ones that usually get us going.
You're the one who get us going. Okay, so I've talked to you about how I love the red lentil penne pasta. I love, especially from the Barilla brand, because it holds its texture even if you overcook it, which is nice when you cook it in the Instant Pot. But for this one, for a stroganoff, it's often those egg noodles that are like flimsy and spirally and stuff. We're gonna use the fusilli pasta, the little spirals. Is it fusilli or fusilli? I never remember.
I don't know.
I'm also not Italian. Cassandra, can you please let us know? Get back to me in a moment's time. She is Italian. This is the chickpea pasta. We're gonna use it because it is a little spiral, so it'll be somewhat reminiscent of the egg noodles, but not exactly. Last night I made it with penne pasta. It was delightful. You could have used a whole wheat or gluten-free, what's it called, elbows, the shells I saw the other day in a chickpea form. So they're making a lot more in a gluten-free version these days. And so that's cool. Aside from that, until the water is a boil here, which we are very close, I had, like I said, a pound of chopped mushrooms, pre-chopped to save you time, right? Just make sure you do rinse them still because they have dirt on them. The water is boiling. Let's get. An extra bag? Why? That's a waste in my opinion, but oh, whatever. Oh, where's my spoon?
Someone says it's fusilli.
Fusilli, got it. So I had it right the first try.
Deb says, I received my order. Thanks for the quick shipment.
6 minutes, wait, what did it say? 4 minutes. Wow, we gotta watch the pasta then. But I do want to cook the pasta softer than al dente on this one is nice. Because you want it to be a sort of a mushy dish, for lack of a better word. Another bag of the chopped onions. If you're just joining us, this is just a simple 12-ounce bag of chopped onions from Kroger, Fry's, almost any grocery store will have them. And let's get this heated up and we'll rock and roll. We'll throw in all the other flavor here in a sec. This is easily a 10-minute meal. But we talked about pulling things out. That's one of the challenges, I suppose, but it's not hard. Still faster than going to the drive-thru, grabbing some burrito or something like that. Okay.
And you'll feel way better.
I'm gonna do a little more pepper. Well, we'll do it right into the pot because I like this one. It has a peppery flavor. We're also gonna use thyme. So we got our garlic, black pepper, a little paprika, some of our nutritional yeast. Let me go put some veggie stock on the stove for this because it's mushrooms. I'll leave it. Our nutritional yeast, if you don't know, is also world famous. People are always emailing us, telling us that ours has the best flavor. Nooch is non-fortified. It doesn't have any of the added niacin and all the other B vitamins that you don't need, but you still do need B12 in your diet regardless of whether you're eating fortified Nooch. Okay, so make sure you're taking your B12. Even the non-vegans need more B12s than they're getting. So our Nooch is really, really flavorful and tasty and awesome for all these dishes. Very popular product of ours. Okay, I said all these, so let's throw them in. Oh, you did have I didn't see your mustard and I grabbed another mustard. So we're also putting in a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Hopefully you can find a no salt version. You might not be able to. We have a stockpile of the no salt Westbury one. Yeah. But I don't think they're making it anymore, so we're gonna run out. And hopefully by that time, we'll be coming out with a mustard, a Well Your World mustard. That is on the list, but it is a hefty list, but we'll get there. As we grow, it's gonna snowball and we'll be getting faster and faster at putting products out, which is part of why we're building a facility here in the very near future so that we can make all of our own products and then we can R&D, research and develop our own stuff like way faster. So, here we go, back to the stove. Reeves, keep us company.
Okay, Diana asks, are your cheese sauce and Nooch the same?
No, the cheese sauce has lots of other things in there so that you can make a really fast, easy cheese sauce. That's probably our most popular product in our entire store. We're gonna add a little veggie stock just to keep this going. That's quite a sizzle. Looking nice.
Yeah, our cheese sauce has Nooch as an ingredient
Definitely,
to make it have a cheesy flavor.
But it's got potatoes in there to thicken it up. It's got, a little bit of garlic and onion, some turmeric, paprika. It has a little bit of mustard, ground mustard seed, just a little. And that's what, you can add water, some cashews. We add a little bit of crushed red pepper to give it some heat. And it is a really fast, easy cheese sauce. On the show, we don't use products of ours that you can't get. So like our date powder, well, we didn't actually use our date powder today, but we use it all the time. But date sugar you can get from a regular grocery store where you are. Nutritionally, if you can't get ours, you can still get it. So we'll use those products on our show, but we don't use like our own spice blends. We don't use our salad dressings and sauces and stuff like that, because that wouldn't be very fair. Many of our members are not in the US and can't get our stuff. So you do not have to get our products to participate. But when it makes sense, I'm going to use like our Nooch, because you can get an off-brand version of that if you need to. The pasta is beeping. Let's throw in that paprika. Throw in the mustard. The mustard does give it a really unique and tasty flavor, so I would say don't leave that out.
This looks so good. Oh, we got a super chat.
Oh, thank you so much. Do you want to read any part of it?
Well, it's a funny one. Okay. Beeb says, this is my payback because I felt guilty that somebody posted a membership recipe in the Facebook group for the pizza oats.
Oh.
So yeah, if you guys remember how viral the pizza oats went, if you're part of the membership,
even on the free trial,
you can get that recipe.
Yeah, that was a really popular one. Everybody was posting their pizza oats in the Facebook group, and finally people were like, okay, I gotta try it. And that's one you can use our products for and save a little time with our jarred pizza sauce that we sell, an SOS-Free, no salt, oil, sugar pizza sauce. I'm just gonna strain out my noodles because they did seem like they were soft enough.
Somebody's asking for a recipe for the Indian sauce. We do have a product guide that does have all Well Your Word products in the recipes. I'll have Cassandra put that in the chat. But usually in our Thursday email, we'll give you a recipe using our products as well.
Perfect. White wine vinegar. I'm going to throw a couple tablespoons of, what did I write down? What did I do yesterday night? 2 tablespoons or 1? Oh, I did only 2 teaspoons. 2 tablespoons would be too much. So up to a tablespoon would be fine. Let's just throw this in. This gives it a really nice flavor too. I'll go with a tablespoon, whatever. And then I want to grind in a little more black pepper. I love the black pepper flavor in this. I love the thyme flavor in this. This is the worst grinder and we just refilled it. I'm throwing this thing out. Okay. We're also going to throw in a little bit of soy milk to give it some creaminess. And then optionally, if you want to thicken it up like a thick Stroganoff gravy, you can throw in some flour. It could be a little bit of whole wheat flour. It could be a little bit of chickpea flour, whatever your oat flour, whatever your go-to flour is, thicken things up. You know, it could be anything. It could be blended white beans. It could be blended cooked russet potato. Whatever you like, just to thicken things up a little bit. But a little bit of flour is easy. You can grab it fast. I'll throw, well, let's see how we're sauteing before I add more juice. The mushrooms are going to give off a lot of liquid, so we'll see how much veggie stock I add. As I'm going to add soy milk and veggie stock to this. And then we're just throwing the noodles. Oh, I'll chop some parsley while we're kicking it here. You got any more questions to go through there, Reeves?
Tricia says masa flour makes a good thickener.
Excellent idea. I love masa flour. I love the flavor of masa flour. That would be great in this.
Some of your mushroom gravy. Definitely.
Yes, our mushroom gravy mix is what I would use personally. That is an amazing product for thickening soups and stews. We're not using it, like I said, because not everybody can get this. But our mushroom gravy is a really awesome product. We use it at Christmas, at Thanksgiving, and every other time during the wintry months when I love roasted veggies, mashed potatoes, and gravy. It's like my favorite meal this time of year.
Susan's asking, are we going to go to any more conferences? Susan, we might eventually, but I don't think we will this year because we just have so much on our plate with the 2 babies and we're trying to get these products that we've been promising out to you. Yeah. And so we have to like pick and choose what we want to focus on this year. And as much as I'd love to see you guys, I know how much you want like the veggie broth powder and the salsas. Yeah. So
we're experiencing some pretty insane growth right now. Last year our business grew like over 60%, which is crazy. So it's been really hard to keep up. I will say it has been rather stressful, especially with Otis at home. He'll be going to daycare next year and we'll be a little more productive next month, which will help, but it has been really hard to keep up. But thank you so much for supporting us like you have and spreading the word, because we've never advertised before, and now we're shipping out so many boxes. So it's a dream come true. But yeah, once things really get up and going and we're like not stressed out beyond all reason, we will definitely start to do either conferences, or lots of requests have come in to do like a meetup. And you know, the value of these kinds of like a meetup isn't because you get to meet us, it's because you get to meet a lot of people. And you get to be in the room with the people from the chat, and you get to connect in face to face. There's power in that. And also being around like-minded people and sharing a meal. We would obviously, if we did a meetup, it would include some food and being able to enjoy together. And so we definitely want to do that. It's not that we're against it, it's that we have to manage our time. So it's been wild. Okay, I can hear it drying out a little bit over here. So now that means you can just hear the sizzle change, you know, when it runs out of liquid. So I'm going to throw in a cup of soy milk. And now I will, since I did evaporate or boil off all of the veggie stock, I am going to throw this in, and then we're going to thicken it up with the flour.
Oh, that is looking
now, if
so good.
If you were smart, or you wanted to go take the extra time, you could whisk up the flour in the veggie stock before I poured it in, so that it doesn't clump. Otherwise, just pepper it in a little at a time, and then mix. And add a little bit as you go. I have this whole ramekin here is 2 tablespoons. That's how much I used last night. But you don't need to use any if you don't want. But it is nice to make it thick. What do y'all think? Can you make this?
Yeah, what do you think of this recipe? Bonnie says the website is great. Same with the YouTube show. I've enjoyed watching you grow. I need the constant inspiration to stay plant-based.
Yeah,
some of my old foods still tempt me.
Yeah, you're not alone. So, I mean, even us, with all the access to our content that we have, can get into trouble. Like I said yesterday, the last week of the year, was not as healthy eating. I mean, I was still eating vegan stuff, but it was more junky. And now I'm like so excited for the January challenge because it's keeping us really, really honest and accountable to you, accountable to our little calendars that we put our emojis on. And I just love it. It's the greatest challenge, I think, because we had so many people posting their challenge habits that they're going after this month in the Facebook group. And they did stuff like, I want to knit and crochet more. You know, it wasn't necessarily plant-based stuff. In addition to some, usually they're always going to have a food or an exercise type of thing. But there's always some people that love to throw in, you know, spend more time on my app learning Spanish, or do this, that, and the other. Call my friends more often. Call my mom at least twice a week, or who knows what.
And I loved reading those because it inspired me. Because I thought, you know what, I'm gonna make one of my challenges is to spend more one-on-one time with Luca. Because I look back at the year and I reflected, you know, I always have the baby, I'm always breastfeeding, I never get like one-on-one time with him anymore, and so that's one of mine. And I wouldn't have thought of it unless I read other people's calendars in the group where they said they wanted to, you know, call their friend more or spend more time on their hobby.
It is really inspiring, and it's also really endearing and humanizing to be able to see what the real people that are part of our group are doing and how they take this and they turn it into their own thing, and it just warms your heart, you know? Okay, well, this is thickening up really nicely. Any time now you could just throw your pasta in and eat it.
Sherry says, that looks so good. Get out another cooked potato and stuff it with that.
Ooh, you want? Okay, fine. I'll taste it with a little stroganoff on top. That actually does sound like a really good idea. I'll do it. Okay, who was it? Kathy? Did you
Sherry.
say? Sherry. Okay, Sherry, you asked for it, you got it, Toyota.
What?
That's a really old slogan for Toyota.
Have it your way?
No, that's a different brand. We don't like that one. Okay, there's a sweet potato. Oh, it's so tender and soft and delicious. And let's take it over to the stove like you asked. And we'll put a little stroganoff on top. Sure, why not? And then I'll taste it. What do you think?
Delicious, beautiful.
You could do this with a russet. You could do this with really any starch. It does not have to be pasta. Okay, so let's throw on a little bit of parsley. Oh boy.
Is that what you wanted?
There you go. You got an extra recipe out of me. Okay. Now I gotta taste it. So we'll come back to that. You know, there's nothing wrong with letting these things, like I have the African stew sitting here just on a low simmer, and I'll just sip off of it all day long. And
5-second meal.
5-second meal. It definitely goes together. Don't ask me, but you called it, Sherry. That's nice.
Looks amazing. I bet it's super yummy, says Kim.
Here you go.
Oh, thanks.
A delight. Okay, let's throw in the pasta.
Marla says all the members are in control.
Yeah. The pasta, when it sits like this, that's one thing about the gluten-free pasta is it does stick together a little more. But we'll break it up and mix it all in, and we'll be good. That's why I'll often, when I make this kind of pasta, I'll immediately put it back in the pan, even if it's a bowl, with a little bit of sauce just to keep it from clumping all up. A lot of restaurants and stuff, they'll do that too, but guess what they use? Oil. They'll use oil to stop everything sticking together, and that's not such a healthy option. So a little bit of sauce, like a marinara, if we're making pasta and marinara, I'll put it back in the pan with a little sauce, and then it won't stick. That looks beautiful. I am going to get right to plating. No messing around. I wanna...
This is delicious.
Yeah, you like that combo? Good job, Sherry.
Yes.
You're hired.
It's almost like Thanksgiving on a potato.
Oh, this is looking really good. I'm gonna turn that off because it is done.
Yum.
Okay, let's sprinkle on a little fresh parsley. You don't need to. Also, if you want to save time and you don't have the fresh stuff, you can just do a little dried chives. There you have it. There you have it. There you have it. There you have it.
Great value.
From Walmart, you could just sprinkle on some chives. You could mix it into the pot too if you want. In fact, that's what I did last night. Okay, let's taste.
I tasted this yesterday and I was like, you know, it tastes good to me, but I don't remember what stroganoff tasted like.
This is exceptional. Oh boy. It got me that time. I was going to also tell you, if you're a salty person, you can throw in a teaspoon or two of tamari or soy sauce or liquid aminos or the coconut aminos. You could put in a tablespoon or less of miso paste, which is great. If you do salt. If you're avoiding salt, like I say, nothing we make on this show needs the salt. I didn't put it in. But you certainly could if you want a little bit of a salty flavor. Or you could just sprinkle a little bit of iodized salt. If you don't eat a lot of kelp, getting a little iodized salt is a good way to get iodine. So, because otherwise you need to eat some seaweed to get it. This is, I can't say it's my favorite because they're all so good. But right now, this is really hitting the spot for me. This is so good.
Mary Beth said, I used to make stroganoff all the time before I became plant-based. Can't wait to try this recipe.
Awesome, thank you.
And then while I try
love it. And you got plates piling up there. Reese.
Yeah, I've got a ton to eat now. I'm real excited about it. Susan said, I've seen a couple of comments in the chat about how hard it is to give up cheese. Can Dylan rant about that for a minute? Was it hard for us?
It was hard. Oops, I'm spitting.
I'm tasting.
I did that long before I met Reeves because I was vegan for 3 years, but I was a junk food vegan from 2013 to 2016. Oh
this
my
is
gosh,
so
I've been
good.
vegan for 11 years.
Did I miss your vegan anniversary?
This month, yeah. I went vegan on like January 3rd or 4th or 5th of 2013. As soon as I got back from this New Year's trip I was on in New Orleans, of all places, where I was not vegan at that time. And I went vegan, and I thought I was doing it right, but I was a junk food vegan for 3 years. But it was hard to give up cheese, but it was hard to give up all that stuff for a little while. I mean, if you've read a great resource for this, honestly, there's not a lot to rant about. The fact of the matter is, if you never ate cheese, you wouldn't want cheese. But you ate cheese a lot, and so now you're gonna want cheese until the cravings finally go away. If you've never done cocaine, you never want cocaine. I've never desired cocaine, and I've never done it. But if you get addicted and then you gotta get off of it, it's really hard. And then suddenly the thing you want most of all is that thing that you're addicted to. Mm-hmm. So that's really the problem. And so, but at the end of the day, if you go, the longer you go, the less you're gonna crave it. And you'll always get those little memories that come back like 3 years later and you're like, ooh, cheese. Oh, that does not happen to me anymore. There's 0 of that because I'm disgusted by cheese. And that helps. To be disgusted by something is very helpful. So watch some documentaries about how disgusting cheese is, and then you might find that you want it less.
What I was gonna say.
Because it is filthy, disgusting garbage. And I would get it out of my diet before meat. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's what I have to, the book. Dr. Neil Barnard has a book called Cheese Trap. Please read that book. He talks about the casomorphines and all the doctory stuff. So if you want to learn about why you're addicted to cheese and why it's so hard to give it up, that is a really excellent resource. Highly recommend it. Great book.
Tammy says watch Dairy is Scary. I'm not sure I've heard of that one.
I haven't heard of that one. Dairy is Scary. I don't know that one, but it sounds scary. Like you might not want to eat cheese after.
You know, I went plant-based because I stumbled upon a lecture from Dr. McDougall talking specifically about how gross dairy is. And I think I dumped my milk out that night and I never wanted to eat dairy again. And I had loved dairy and loved cheese. But just watching that and knowing how disgusting it is, like you said, Dylan, was more a motivator to me than dealing with a random craving for feta, which I ate like all the time.
Were you a feta person? Oh,
yeah, I would eat feta and grapes like it was going out of style.
Did you tell me you used to get a lot of infections because of dairy?
Oh yeah, I was a sickly kid. I had ear infections, bronchitis.
Yeah, I thought you told me that.
Acne all over. It was very, you can just look at a picture of me growing up and say, yep, that girl was eating a lot of pizza. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know that was the cause, and my family didn't know.
It was funny because growing up, when I had the acne and I was real embarrassed about it in high school, my mom would be like, you need to eat less oily food. And
so she actually had an inclination.
And I would try to eat less oily food, and of course it would do nothing because I'm still eating she's still cooking with some oil and fat, excessive fat, that is leading to this acne breakout. And she was right, but she didn't take it far enough, and that's just kind of funny so it goes like that sometimes.
I had acne like until I was 24, 25 years old and gave up the dairy. I just thought, oh, this must be genetic and something I have to deal with for all time. No, you don't have to.
Well, mine did get better as soon as I left high school and didn't eat school lunch. And so that helped. But then, of course, in college, I wasn't exactly eating all that healthy. Let's make a 4th recipe. We got one very fast, easy recipe we're gonna whip together. We're gonna make a very simple mushroom bacon. We're doing a BLT wrap. We're making a BLT wrap. This is probably more mushroom than I need. We'll see what happens. If you want, you can clean out how they have the gills and the stem and stuff, but I don't bother. I mean, mushroom's mushroom. If it grows, I'll eat it. So I'm gonna strip these, and we're gonna make some kind of like mushroomy bacon strips. We did a recipe very recently where we did a baked mushroom bacon, which was really, really tasty. But you have to marinate it, and it takes more time and whatnot. So this is gonna be our really fast 10-minute meal version, okay? I'm gonna actually set these on a plate. We'll mix up our marinade in the pan, or not marinade, but our sauce in the pan first, and then we'll throw the mushrooms in once we've kind of heated it a tiny bit. But all I did was take pre-packaged, packaged, ready to go portobellos. We just sliced them, the easiest little chopping maneuver. I'm trying to make it so easy for you.
Wow, just reading some of these stories in the chat of people's similar experience, it's
Really? Anything you want to share?
Well, a lot of people just saying, yeah, it helped me clear up my adult acne too. Some people said that they used to assist with putting the tubes in the kids' ears.
Oh, for the infection?
For infection, and they used to actually say eat less dairy, and they never understood why they said it, and now they understand.
Really? That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I've got everything ready for this now. We're gonna make our bacon here. I've got a little liquid smoke, some balsamic vinegar. You can use apple cider vinegar if you want, or any vinegar. Or lemon juice is great in this. Garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, smoked or not, doesn't matter. And a lemon or lime. We're gonna use a lime, because why not? Okay, so let's do this. Let's throw all this into this. Well, there's not much to, I'm just gonna go for it. We're just gonna throw everything in the pan. We'll add a little veggie stock. There we go. I'll go throw this on the stove. I'll squeeze in the lime, and we'll be on our way. Let's get it heated up. There's a little broth. All right, I was kind of saying I'd whisk this together before I threw the mushrooms in, so. You can kind of just go like that a little bit, get everything.
It's a quick marinade.
Yeah, wash your whisk just like that blender. Boy, a crusty whisk is no fun for anyone.
Whiskey business.
How much balsamic did I write down? A tablespoon or two. It's this is really one of those things you can just wing it. I always do onion powder, garlic powder, and usually with this paprika too. So you just you know the ingredients you like, and you just do it. Because there's nothing really complex, or it's not a long list or anything, you know? So let's just we'll just eyeball a little balsamic, maybe a tablespoon or two. It's already boiling, the stove is so fast. We'll throw in our mushrooms, and we'll just let them, we'll decide together how much we want to cook them and how soft we want it to be.
They're laughing at your tablespoon.
There's a little thing in there that I don't think I put in much more than that. Everybody thinks that I have the world's biggest handful of herbs and spices, but I think I'm not that far off. The camera adds 10 pounds, okay? No, that wasn't funny for you, Reeves? Fine.
I missed it.
You're busy, I get it. Okay, the only thing I didn't throw in yet is the liquid smoke. So we can throw in a little dash of liquid smoke. I really like this brand of liquid smoke rather than the one that has like caramel coloring and stuff. This I'll show you is the Wright's liquid smoke there, got it? And it's just the smoky flavor and not any other ingredients. And you could throw in, I don't know what I wrote down, it'll be on the recipe, a half a teaspoon, whatever.
The camera adds 10 pounds, that's what I missed?
Yeah, that's what you missed. They used to say that on in every sitcom ever made.
Yeah, they did.
And so now it doesn't need to be quite so a boil, but we're just gonna let this sauce kind of soak into our mushrooms. We're doing the fast way of making a marinade, which is still gonna have like 75% of the texture and flavor that you're looking for. So like sometimes it's like, why even go the extra mile? That's the whole point of these 10-minute meals. I show you the hard way, the easy way, you decide. And you can do anything in between the two, you know?
Where do you get the liquid smoke? Anna's asking.
I think we buy it at Sprouts.
I've seen it at Walmart.
It's usually at most stores. I never knew of it until we started eating this way, of course. This is my sister's dill that she brought from her garden this morning. Lovely. I can't wait to chop it up. Oh, we're making a dill, a sauce, right? Oh, we're making a dill sauce. That's gonna be, what else do I need to do here? Just the dill sauce? And then we'll do a little bit of chopping to make some fixins for our wrap. But really the hard part's this. I'll get ready with the sauce. But I don't wanna ignore the stove for too long.
Mushroom bacon.
So this is just, and you can add a little more veggie stock. If you want your mushrooms to be like cooked softer, you can add a little veggie stock once this dries out and do one more round of boiling, you know, of simmering. But this is really nice. You can cover it if you want. You know, it's up to you. I'm not gonna bother. I like to hear it when we're doing the show so I don't embarrass myself and burn something. If I cover it, I won't hear it.
Your sister said she took some of that dill like that and just put it in a vase in her house.
Hey, it's a proud accomplishment. Okay, let's throw together a little tangy jalapeno. You know what? I'm gonna wait on the sauce. Let's do some chopping so I don't do what I just said I could do. Do I still have chopped tomatoes from the sweet potato I can just use? Yes, I do.
Oh, good.
Oh, I even have the avocado that I know I'm gonna get asked for, so we'll do that. Okay, yeah, so now it's starting to boil away. It goes fast. It goes fast. I'll throw in another splash. We'll do one more round.
It goes 10-minute meals fast?
Yeah, that was like 5. And then let's chop a little cucumber and red bell pepper. What do you say? Here's a little red bell. We don't need much because we're just gonna build a couple wraps, maybe one more. Oh, whatever, might as well prep it. Okay, so we got some red bell. We'll do, what do you want, slices?
Yeah, strips.
Strips, yeah. This is another opportunity to just use the frozen stuff and let it thaw to room temp.
Saute it with the mushrooms.
Or saute it with the mushrooms, beautiful.
Oh, that would be delicious.
That's a great time-saving tip right there, would be the frozen char roasted that we showed on the stuffed sweet potato recipe. I know a lot of people are coming in and out, so I'm trying to reference. Okay, we got that. Let's do a little of an English cucumber. Maybe we'll just do this much. What are we making? Cucumber strips as well? Do we want all this skin on it? It's an English cucumber, so the skin is like a little less waxy. So I don't bother removing it as religiously. Let's just slice this, and we'll make some slices like that. Maybe we'll make them a little thinner. Whatever your preference, whatever your preference.
Whatever you want in your wrap.
There you go. We got the mushrooms. Do we need a red onion or anything? We're also gonna throw on some shredded carrots. No chopping needed.
CJ says, thanks for showing how to make stroganoff. It was my favorite thing I used to make my family. Now I can make a healthier version.
That's awesome. That's nice. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, let's check our mushrooms.
People are wondering if you did your knife sharpener yet.
No, not yet. You want me to? We have time if you want. I don't care. Okay, these are done. Just let the rest of this liquid go because that'll just thicken up. See how there's your garlic powder and your onion powder and all the little bit of fiber that was left in the powders and stuff is gonna be here, and it's gonna add some nice clumpy flavor bursts to these mushrooms. Look at how gorgeous these are. They've gotten really nice and soft. They're just gonna make for such a delicious. And I didn't add any salt to this. You could add some tamari or soy sauce if you're a salt person, but you don't need to. That's that. I'm shutting her down.
Shut her down.
Okay, y'all. What do you say we
For your built?
Built? Mushroom, bacon, lettuce, tomato. Oh, I gotta get the lettuce out. This I would normally do before the show, and I forgot. Do you want butter lettuce? No. You could do a lettuce cup for this if you don't want to do it as a wrap.
Yeah.
That's really low calorie though. I would not consider that a meal because there's literally no starch. It's just mushrooms and veggies. So I would recommend including a wrap because it adds a filling factor so that you're not starving in like 20 minutes.
Okay, 2 good questions.
Okay, I'll rinse some leaves while you're reading.
Okay.
Or are these already rinsed? Please say yes. Dang it.
Dang it. Russ says, what is your trick to not getting food to stick to the pan?
Liquid. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Go
Just
ahead.
make sure there's enough liquid in the pan, water or veggie stock. As long as it doesn't dry out completely, it should never stick. I always thought before I moved here with Dylan that you had to have non-stick coated cookware, and I didn't even realize you could cook in just a regular stainless steel pan.
Yeah.
As long as you keep a little bit of liquid in there so it's never fully drying out, you should be fine.
My cooking style is a little different than others that use the non-stick on their channels or shows or whatever. They're going for a much drier kind of texture, so you would need a non-stick if you're not going to be adding veggie stock or liquid to keep it from sticking. You need a non-stick for that sort of thing. But I don't care for that. I don't like non-stick pans. They don't last very long. You end up having to throw them out and get new ones all the time. You have to be extra careful with what kind of tools touch them so that you're not scraping off all the non-sticky stuff. And like if I'm cleaning it, what I love about the stainless is that I can take the stainless steel scrubber, and I can just go to town. I can treat every dish the same. I don't have to think about this versus that and how I clean it. I just get in there, put some screaming classical music on, and wash the dishes. I haven't done that in a little while though. Now that the kids are around, I used to get in the zone and clean.
Yeah.
But
Marianne's asking, do you also include gluten-free with some of your recipes? Well, I would say that 98% of our recipes are just already gluten-free.
yeah.
Of course, when we do a wrap, it's obvious. And like Dylan said, you could do a lettuce cup for this one.
You can get some gluten-free wrappers, but they're usually a lot of the processed starches and stuff in order to make things stick together. So I don't prefer those. I should tell you, this is the Trader Joe's whole wheat lavash. I've heard that some places have oil in theirs. This one still does not. If you look at the ingredients, there is no oil. There's 110 calories for, what is it, half a sheet or a whole sheet? A half a sheet. So that's 220 calories right here of starch. Now it is a little drier starch, which means it might not fill you up as much as, say, all of the other dishes that we did. But like a sweet potato might fill you up more, and this is drier, so it's more calorie dense. So, you know, don't forget the simple principles of calorie density. They're very important. But because this is the only starch in the whole meal, I find it to be very important that it's there because I gotta have my starch. Okay, how are we dressing this up, Reebs? Bacon, lettuce, tomato, cucumber.
You gotta do your sauce.
Oh, we got the sauce. Jeez Louise. Okay.
I'm looking at the ingredients
Get this out of the way. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, so the sauce is this is our new jalapeno dill sauce. I don't know. We need a name, I guess, hey? I'm gonna use, you were like worried about a whole jalapeno in this.
I wasn't worried for me. I was worried for you guys.
Let's start with a half, taste it, and add the rest because I'm pretty sure I want the whole thing. Some black pepper, did I say? Oh, where did I put it? There it is, black pepper. We've got some tahini. This has got a little bit of fat too. We've been making a little bit richer sauces today. Like I said, I know some of you are coming off of a very naughty month, so we're gonna take you down gradually. At least we're giving you some healthier fats. All right. I'll put a little bit of water first so that the tahini doesn't totally stick to the bottom of the canister. That's a nice little tip.
But you can always use, you know, white beans instead, or cooked cauliflower, or...
Definitely. Definitely. Okay. Oops, I need my spatula.
Yeah, somebody pointed out that at their Trader Joe's, it does have some oil in it.
Oh, I was gonna say though, it's probably really minimal. Like, what is your grams of fat in a serving? Mine is 0.5. Is yours any higher than that? Because if it's not, it's probably a really negligible amount that might be used in just like the cooking process. I don't know. I don't know why it has it. I really wish it didn't. And I'm not saying that it's automatically fine to eat something with oil because we obviously promote a completely, exclusively oil-free diet. But it's probably not as bad of an offender as, say, literally cooking with olive oil, which is a lot of oil. You know, we're talking 2 tablespoons of oil, which you don't really want. Okay, so what else? There's a couple garlic cloves. Oh, geez, really? It was right in front
Only
of you.
one garlic
You can't
clove.
swoosh that. Okay, garlic. There we go. Dill. This one's gonna have that dill. We can take the dill right off the stem. I don't think the stems still taste like dill. Wow, what an amazing flavor, Karin. This is the nicest dill. Just like, what did I write down for the fresh dill? Like a tablespoon of it, kind of packed tablespoons worth. We'll taste this. I'm inventing this sauce right now with you.
Yeah.
I've never made this sauce before. We always like to make some things on the show for the very first time, it adds a little bit of fun, okay? Might need a little more water. I'll have it at the ready.
Someone said you should call this jalapeno sauce.
Oh my, that is the absolute, definitely name. Jalapeno sauce. Thank you, who was that?
Let's see,
credit
Tammy.
where credit's due. Thank you, Tammy. We did, let's make sure I got everything in here. Jalapeno, oh, lime. I need a lime. Did I use the lime somewhere else? No, I think you just didn't put out one lime.
I forgot one lime.
Got it. I thought I maybe stole it for a different recipe. Okay. A little lime juice, a couple tablespoons worth probably. If you're wondering, yes, there's a garbage can hidden from sight.
And you're not just throwing it on the floor?
It's not like one of those bars with the peanut shells everywhere. Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens. I'm definitely excited. You could add the dill later if you want those cute, darling little specks of dill so that it doesn't get totally creamified. But I didn't think of that. Oh, that's nice. It needs a little bit more water though. It's very thick.
Diana says, what about haladillo?
Keep workshopping that one, but you're close. I'll taste it really fast to make sure it's not too spicy because I really want to get the rest of that jalapeno in. If you don't like jalapeno, if you don't want any heat, use a green chili. A green pepper is the most mild. A green chili is more mild than jalapeno.
Use a red pepper.
A red pepper? Yeah. It's going in. We're good.
Jalapeno.
Jalapeno. We'll add a little more juice. Oh, rocking. I'm gonna get my spatula, which I cleaned, so it wouldn't get sticky. Oh, nice. Okay. So I probably added a tablespoon or two of water at the most. Look at this beautiful. This is like a new green goddess. Let me pour it in a jar.
A new green garden.
It's got a really tasty jalapeno flavor. Does it need more dill? Hold on, let me taste this. Reebs, where'd you go?
Here I am.
This tahini is nice. A little more dill. This is dill to taste, you know? A tablespoon at least, but a little more. I like putting a little at the end because you can see the beautiful little green specks. And the way it is now, it's liquefied. You can't see any dill. So just like put it on low and just kind of pulse it a little. Okay. I could have used a tiny bit less water in my version. You guys will do a better job. I went not as thick as I did on the, what was the last sauce we made? What did we call that one? The chipotle aioli, that's right.
Oh yeah, the aioli.
Okay. Give it a rinse. Reebs, back to you.
That one looks good though. Somebody said, I bet Dylan is exhausted after the show.
I don't know, am I? I mean, we're all exhausted because it's a lot of work. Like we start, early.
Well, a lot of people ask, what do you do with all that food you cook during the show? Does it last you all week? Like, no, it doesn't even last us till 9 p.m. usually.
That's about when it ends, is 9 p.m. And if there's anything straggling, then I'll throw it in the fridge. But we usually leave everything out and we're just enjoying it because we still have, after we're done the show, a few hours of work to clean up, to prepare the recipes to send out to our members and everything like that.
Well, cooking show days, I mean, I shouldn't, but sometimes I skip breakfast and then I skip lunch because we're doing the show, and then we have an accidental OMAD day where we just eat all of the recipes we made from the show.
Yeah.
That looks really nice.
It came out great. It came out really tasty. We got a new sauce on our hands. It shows you how easy it is to make a sauce. I mean, and sauce makes everything, so don't omit. Here we go. Shall we build? Then we'll do, for anyone who wants to stick around, we'll do the knife sharpener. If you want to get out of here, get out of here. You won't hurt my feelings because we don't usually go this long. Okay, so let's start with our mushrooms. Oh, they look so good. They look so good. Okay, we're gonna put
I'm really excited about this one.
How do we do this? Every time we come back to wraps and I forget how to wrap a wrap. Is it gonna be like this, where everything's on the inside? We'll figure it out. It's embarrassing. Let's throw on some mushrooms.
I think this one's pretty foolproof.
Okay. Well, sometimes we put ingredients all about, and sometimes we just put them here. And I never know what the difference is. Because once you fold it up, then you immediately eat it, and everything you did 5 minutes ago doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. Does anyone have any wrap rolling techniques that you'd
There
like to share with the class?
There's our MB, okay? And now we got our L. Well, let's throw on our other things before our L. We got our strips of red bell pepper, optional. This is just fun now. You do whatever you like. Some cucumber is fun. I like to have, you know, a nice crunchy bite. So I'll throw in a fair amount of things. Here's the tomato. We're jumping to the T. Sometimes I like a little bit of sliced red onion. We didn't do that today. Who cares? You can do it next time.
Somebody did said sliced red onion, or pickled red onion.
Oh, we've done a pickled red onion on the show, haven't we?
Yeah.
Here's a bag of shredded carrots. Handy, tasty, starchy. There we go. Carrots. Now is the only thing left, the lettuce and the sauce. Oh, we could do a little avocado for you avocado lovers. How about that?
So you're telling me that this is an MBLT PCC?
Yeah, it's got a number of letters. It's not as hard to pronounce as our recent, what was it called? Pickled pepper.
Oh, Peter Piper's pickled, perfect
Piper,
plant-based.
Perfect plant-based, plant-powered. You guys. Pepita puree.
What did we even make?
What was that thing? You guys named it. You made us keep that name, and we did. It has like 11 P alliterations. Okay,
Andrea, I think has the answer here. If you're wanting to make pinwheels, then you spread it around everywhere.
That's what it is.
Yeah. If you're just doing a burrito, you can just put it all in the middle like you have.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Good reminder. Okay, lettuce. This is probably enough. Well, I like a lot of lettuce. This is like one of the, I don't, eat it in a salad very often, so this is my favorite way.
Oh, it was the pepita pesto pasta.
The plant-powered pepita pesto pasta. And then we were joking about how it's Peter Piper's. Peter Piper's plant-powered peppered pepita pasta. Let's roll.
Alphabet wrap.
That's going to be...
Sandra, alphabet wrap.
Alphabet wrap. Okay, here we go, folks. Don't judge me.
What?
On my abilities.
So are you going to dip in the sauce? Or?
Oh my gosh, we're opening this back up. There it is, looking gorgeous.
You can put it in a ramekin and just do a little dippity-doo.
You certainly can, and believe me, Reeves will. But we do need a little bit inside here. Okay. Crisis averted, folks. I busted up my lavash a little, but hey, we're good. Okay. All right, we need a knife, and we'll cut this on an adorable chefy offset. What do you guys think of this wrap? I'll show you up close.
Yeah, tell us your thoughts and opinions on this wrap. Crisis averted. Ooh, look at the inside on that diagonal.
How do you go like this?
Yeah.
You stack it cute.
That's usually how I take my photo afterwards, is a little stack of
Look at that. Just look at it. Here, I can put it on a motor for you. Put it on a little motor.
A little lazy Susan?
A little, yeah. But anyway, look up closer to the actual inside. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at all the colors.
Yeah.
This is the best. Okay, Reeves, come on over if you want.
You had me at mushrooms, says Barbara.
I know, right? I'm
Marla said, New Year's, wrap it up.
So much crunch. You don't need chips when you can crunch like that. Here you go, that one got a little messy. Oh, isn't that good? You got a lot of different flavors happening.
You know what, Dill?
The sauce is super. That sauce is good. Do you like it?
Now that is a wrap.
Cut.
I need to get a more specific taste of the sauce. You know me.
So good. I love that. I want more of a taste of the sauce too. The tahini is nice. Tahini has such an interesting earthy flavor.
Delicious.
That's so good.
Restaurant quality.
This is our live cooking show. This is not a normal YouTube video like we do. This has been over 2 hours now of us cooking, hanging out in the chat with people just like us, inventing new recipes together that you're naming. This is our new jalapeno sauce, and it is really exceptional. You're gonna love it. Please join us. To get these recipes, you gotta download. We're gonna do the knife sharpening, but I need to do my little spiel, okay? So to get these recipes, the link is right there. Nope, right there. wellyourworld.com/cooking show. Go download it. We're doing our free trial right now. If you watch this next month, we're not doing our free trial, but it's still an amazing membership, and I hope you join us. But you can get it for free right now for 1 month, and you get access to every recipe we have ever made, all of the replays. This is like episode 133?
Yeah.
And so you get everything we've ever done since 2018. We do 2 shows every single month. You get a 10% member discount even on your free trial right now, folks. So this is the time to take advantage. We're doing a huge beginner bundle. It's got our barbecue sauce, our Asian, our Italian, our mushroom basil pasta sauce, which we use every week. Luca loves it. Fiesta, Stardust, and Galaxy Dust. That's our Mexican spice blend on the left. The Stardust and the Galaxy Dust are like a salt substitute, kind of a veggie blend the Galaxy is. So good for cooking and just putting on top of your meals. Italian is like one of our most popular salad dressings. Everybody seems to be loving it right now, so I wanted to include that. Asian is really popular. It's awesome for just stir frying a quick bit of frozen veggies, like those charred veggies, and put some starch. Like rice is usually what we do, and a little bit of Asian sauce. Boom, you got a 5-minute meal. Like here we are making 10-minute meals. Well, our products make you 5-minute meals. Yeah. And barbecue sauce is the other item that we're including this time in the beginners bundle. We've done beginners bundles before, but they're always a little bit different. Anyway, we'd love to have you. What else can I tell you? You can cancel anytime. We're not jerks about that kind of thing. You can cancel online in your account, or you can email us, whatever. But we really hope that what you've seen today will convince you to stick around. Whoops, I keep putting your camera on. To stick around for good. Our show just keeps growing. People love it, so it must be solid.
What more do you need to say? I mean, you guys were here. You were in the chat with us, or you're watching the replay, and.
If you're wondering what our next show will be, it's 2 weeks from today, and we're making deconstructed meals, which is things like, I'm not telling you what we're making on that show yet, did it again, but we're doing, deconstructed meals is like taking a stuffed bell pepper and making something easy like a stuffed pepper soup, where you don't have to go, it's cutting corners, it's corner cutting.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So that's what we'll be doing on our next show. The theme of January, we always like it to be keep it really, really simple so that you can get rid of some of those bad habits from December perhaps, or maybe you're just maintaining an excellent diet.
Or maybe you're new.
Or maybe you're brand new to this entire thing and our content popped up and here you are, but we're all about helping to promote your health by getting rid of the junk out of the diet and making the meals as simple and easy as possible so that you actually stick to it forever and ever. So. That is our show. We are going to do some bonus footage. Apparently, we're going to talk about a knife sharpener.
Yes.
I've been hinting at this for a while. I would love another bite, if I'm being honest.
Making the stroganoff tonight. Yum. I'm so hungry now. Yep, that's why we tell you to eat before the show. And maybe
Yeah.
you did, and maybe you still got hungry, and that's okay, because you can eat to your heart's content with these recipes.
We'll be eating a bunch more wraps after the show. Mm-hmm. Okay, Reeves, tell me what questions come up, and we'll talk about knives. That gonna stay? I think it is.
Do you want this item?
Sure. I'll clean this off a little.
Okay, let's see what we had to say here. Oh, a lot of thank you for the show, people said.
I'm gonna get cleaned up, so you take the show.
Okay. Has anyone found a good vegan cheese that's not made with oil? Ours, Well Your World, if you can order it. And you're
Ours
in
is
the
our
United
cheese
States.
sauce, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, our cheese sauce mix is revolutionary.
Our cheese sauce mix saves my life multiple times a week when I didn't have time to make something.
Here it is, comes in a nice little tank like this. And all you do is there's a little optional recipe on the back that we like, which is to add some cashews and a little bit of chili pepper, you know, like crushed red pepper or whatever for heat. And then just water. Sometimes we'll do a little miso paste to give it a little saltiness, but that's it. And it's really, really simple stuff. Some people just only add water. Like if you have a really basic palate, which is a heck of an accomplishment, then you can just add water and it'll be less, you know, fewer calories than if you put cashews in. You got
Yeah,
options.
since we are going live, if you did want to ask a little bit more product questions, that would be okay. I mean, going long is what I meant to say.
Yeah, the show's over.
The show's
now,
over.
Now we're hanging out.
This
a
is
little.
extra credit. Thanks, I'll just finish my starch blaster and on with the responsible part of my day.
Okay, so let me plug this in. This is an electronic knife sharpener, and I have found that it is so good. So the knife sharpener you might just have in your kitchen drawer, simple, that's great, but it doesn't last very long. It doesn't keep you sharp for a very long time. Cass, if you could throw the link to this in the chat, we'll also put it in the description box of the video so you have access to it since it's kind of a central now part of the show. But this is the Chef's Choice Model 15XV. Never heard of it before. I did not buy it knowing anything about it. I've since heard that it's like a wire cutter, most popular or best performing knife sharpener. I didn't know any of that. I just bought it because I saw it and I wanted an electronic one because my normal knife sharpening, now that you're members, if you go back to like episode 9 or something, I do a whole entire knife sharpening demo with my knife sharpening kit with my whetstones. And I have this, what are these called? Cambras. And I have a bridge to put over it. And then you put your whetstones on top and you scrape your knife on it to sharpen it. That makes a unbelievably sharp knife. And it lasts for a long time. You only need to do it every few weeks or maybe every month. But I haven't even been having time for that. And sometimes I'll send my knives in, or because there's a place like literally a block from my house that sharpens knives, and they are awful, terrible, the worst. I mean, it's sharp for 5 minutes. And so I had to stop doing that because it's just like, why am I spending money for nothing? So I found this, and it has provided like a very impressive sharpening. So, do you know what a burr is on a knife? Here you have it. I'm just picking, my knife is already sharp, so I'm not going to sharpen it again. And then, you know, because you're cutting off, your metal is coming off the knife. Like if you look, there's a little catch on the bottom of this. Can I get it off with just my fingers? Yeah. This is a magnet. Let's see if I can show you. This is a magnet, and all the little grinds that come off are getting collected on this magnet. So like you're taking knife off when you sharpen. And after a year or so, for me, this is my job, I run out of knife. And then my knuckles are hitting the table. So then it's time to get a new knife. And actually today, that was my first time using my new knife. So here's one this one's already kind of pretty sharp too. It's just a regular, any cheap garbage knife you can sharpen with this. You know these ones that are kind of popular, or were popular, these colorful Cuisinart knives, they're pretty cheap. And therefore they were pretty popular. You can get it really sharp. In fact, I haven't used it since I sharpened it, and it is unbelievably sharp still, because why would I use this knife? I should take it for camping or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the knife sharpener. Any questions?
No questions yet.
Okay. So this knife sharpener, I don't know if there's any maintenance that ever needs to be done. You got your power switch and your 1, 2, 3. There's 3 stages to the sharp. This is not a pitch. I'm not a sponsor. This is nothing like that. We might put our Amazon link in the chat, but like I get practically nothing for that. Okay. So like I don't do any kind of sponsory things with brands. I've never done it and I won't be. So I just want you to know that. This is because I actually like this tool. Okay. So for me now, I'm a little backwards from you because I'm going to be 1, 2, 3, right? So what you do is you got a dull knife and you're going to send this through like this. Each stage, I guess, has 2 sides because there's 2 sides to the knife. So this goes one side, then you go like this, then you go like this, then you go like this. And for your first time sharpening a knife, you may have to do it like 20 times each or more until you feel a burr. And a burr, maybe I should draw this for you.
Yeah, a couple of people were asking.
So if you take, let's see if I can, I'm gonna have to do a couple drafts. So like if you have a knife, okay, I'm gonna have to do it this way so that you can see the knife, okay? Ignore this, bad. So here is a knife, right? This is zoomed out. This is if you're looking at me like this, right? So there is your blade, okay? And it's sharp like this. So now, when you start sharpening it on each side, let's really zoom in, and you're gonna see, what is the best way? I've seen this drawn before, but I haven't seen it in a long time. If this is your knife, a burr is when the blade is so sharp that it starts to, I'm not an artist, is that it starts to bend over. It starts to hook a little, like that. So let me draw a bigger version. So it starts to hook like that. Like if this is the blade and you were to like microscopically go in, you see the end starts to burr and bend over because it's so thin and sharp that, and because that would be like the blade bending over like this, okay, on one side. And then if you push your fingers like this, which would never cut you or anything, but if you feel a little bit of a scrape on your finger, then there's a burr there because you're hitting the blade that's bent over on the knife, okay? That's what a burr is. And we're going for a burr in stage 1. So in stage 1, you're gonna spend like 3, 5 even seconds, well, let's call it 3, on each side. So we're gonna fire it up. It's pretty quiet, which is cool, except for when you're grinding. That part's loud. And you just take your sweet time. The directions that come with it explain this perfectly, and you're going to switch sides each time. Be pretty consistent with your timing, but if you're not consistent and you're like, if you do it like this, I'll show you. If you go like fast, slow, like that, you're going to get like a little bit of a burr here, but not here, and then maybe a little bit of a burr here and not here. You want to get an even burr so that you can feel it, and you can go like this, and you can feel it everywhere. Okay, and it's only going to be on one side, and then when you do it the other way, on this side now, you'll feel the burr going the other way. So now, I'm going to do that like 20 times. Well, if your knife's already like pretty sharp, you're not going to have to do it that many times. Like this knife is pretty sharp. And now I can feel the burr already. So when I go like this, I can feel that this side of the knife, and it'll only be one side because obviously this side is curved down, so on one side you won't feel anything but smooth. On the other side you'll feel a little burr, and that's what you want. Once you feel the burr along the entire edge of the blade, you're ready to go to step 2. And step 2 is 3 to 5 passes no matter what, because you've already done the hardest part in step 1. So then when you go through and you do step 2, and read the directions, it'll tell you how long to make each swipe. And you'll do like 3, 4, 5 of these on stage 2, alternating sides like this. And then you should feel, there it is, I feel another burr now that's even sharper of a burr. And I'm not saying sharp like you're gonna cut yourself checking here, but you can feel going this way that there is definitely a burr all along the blade because I already had this quite consistently sharpened. I cheated a little. And then you go on to stage 3. And on stage 3, you do a couple slow ones, and then you do a couple fast ones. This is like your strop. Whoops. This is like your strop, which is like some people use like a leather strap, and they do this on it. This is what 3 is, like a very fine. So it's like coarse, medium, very fine on the third one. And we'll do a few slow ones. This is what hones that final sharpness that you want. If you buy a new knife like I did, you would jump to stage 3 and hone it a little bit. Except if your new knife isn't a Japanese knife, you need to go through stage 1 because it's going to reshape your blade a little bit. You don't want to push down on that. It's going to reshape your blade a little. If you've never sharpened with this sharpener, it puts like a 15-degree or something angle on the blade. And if you bought a German knife that has a wider angle, then when you start with this, you'll have to do 20 passes because you're essentially reshaping the point of the blade. You're not harming your knife. In fact, you're making it much sharper than what it was as a German blade. You're turning it into a Japanese style blade. All these words don't matter. Just how to use the blade, and I'm giving you a little more education than I'm sure anybody cares about. Okay? So, then you go through and you do a couple fast passes on number 3. And then you're done. And you got a sharpened blade, and it lasts a long time, like an impressively long time. Now, the older your knife gets, how can I show you this? Can you see? So you can see, oh, good, okay. So you see how it's really thin at the bottom and it's getting thicker and thicker and thicker. Well, as you sharpen your knife for a year, you're gonna be getting into the thicker zone, right? So the knife is not gonna stay as sharp as long once you start wearing this knife down over time. But that's what a knife is for. So you're supposed to be sharpening your knife and enjoying its use, and then get a new one when you need to. But you will find that the deeper and deeper you get into your knife, the less long it lasts sharp. I've never read that. Nobody's ever said that to me. I could be completely full of crap, but that is the observation I've made when I have a knife getting older and older. Like a brand new knife, I almost can go 2-3 months without having to sharpen it, I feel like sometimes. If it's a good knife, like our Global, what we use mainly on the show. Anyway, that's the sharpener. Any questions come from that, Reeves?
So after you do the fast passes, there's no more burr?
Right, no, because the really fine one won't create much of a burr. It's taking the burr off because it's so fine. It's like passing it over. So say you had that little burr, and then you take a piece of really, really fine sandpaper, and you're just like almost taking the burr away. So that's what number 3 is doing, is it's just giving that final extreme sharpness. Excuse me. Please be very careful with a sharp knife. It's much safer to chop with a sharp knife than it is a dull knife, because a dull knife will slide off of waxy skins like a bell pepper or a tomato and could cut you. A sharp knife goes exactly where your hand puts it. If you put that sharp knife into your hand, well, then you have a problem. But if you're pretty good at it and you know how to, I hate this knife. This is a garbage knife. The place, I can't even hold on to it. Whoever designed this knife doesn't actually use a knife. But you can't, where your pressure holds on a good knife is in your 2 fingers. Your hand, your palm of your hand doesn't actually do anything. See, this knife's so good because it has more space here for me to hold on to. All the pressure is right here. Like I could literally chop like this. But you need some stability, so you wrap your fingers around and then you can chop, okay? So you want to see what a sharp knife can do? Let's chop an onion.
Yeah, do a small chopping demo. Everyone's loving it.
Sure.
Everyone's saying thanks for this demonstration. My
pleasure. And on old episodes of the show, we've done straight up knife chopping techniques and things on the show. I don't know that we've done like a theme of just that, but we have done shows where we talk more extensively and do more with the sharpening. So anyway, let's take this crappy knife, and it just slides right through. I mean, it's really sharp. And you can hear the difference of a sharp knife. You can hear in some of my videos when I'm not using a sharp knife. On like my regular YouTube videos, if the knife's not sharp, you can hear the difference going through the vegetable. You can just like hear the friction. And you're gonna not hear any of that right now. a good cutting board is such a nice tool too. This is a boost block. Cass, you could maybe throw a link, but Well Your World bought everybody boost blocks for Christmas that works here. And knives and a knife sharpener. That was our Christmas gift to all of our staff members, was a new knife sharpener, a new global knife, and a cutting board. And then the other thing you'd really want as part of your kit is one of these sill pads. This is what stops your cutting board from sliding around. Look, this all over the place. This is very dangerous. And I used to use a damp cloth, like you could put a damp cloth under, but that really does age your board a lot because it's going to cause a lot of expanding and contracting of the wood, and you don't want that because it'll cause your board to crack.
They said, wow, can I come work with you?
You guys. Oops. Okay, let's chop an onion. Here we are with our knife, and so so this is my issue with this, is I can't hold this knife right. But here we go. I mean, it just slides through. You barely can hear the onion talking back to me. And then I can spin it. Let's give you a clean hand to look at, shall we?
Do you have to do anything to the boost block to keep it all good?
Yeah, you do. You need to oil your board.
Cassandra said, I had a chopping party on Monday and cut up so many veggies with my new gear, and it's awesome.
Get out of town, I love it. So here is the cheap knife. Here is my knife. This is actually sharper than my knife because I just used this on the show, and I didn't hone it before I used it like I said you should do with a new knife. This is incredibly sharp, this cheap knife. I don't even know what this knife is, but anyway. It's so sharp that I can barely slide it. You know how when you're chopping things and you are going like this, right? An onion I don't do that way, but like if I had some of that red bell pepper, I could chop that up for you. So you take the bell pepper and you chop it into strips, and then you take those strips and you're sliding your knife on the board. It's so sharp that it's almost digging into the wood, and I need to like dull it a little bit. And then it'll slide a little better. So I've found that actually the best level of sharpness is what my current knife is, because it slides better on the board. So you can see like way less friction sliding, and this one it's getting stuck. So a better sharpness is something kind of a little less than perfect, so that you can still speed chop and get through, really fast. I can chop this so fast because my knife is sailing across the board the way that my hand is telling it to. There's a lot of muscle memory involved with becoming fast at chopping. I didn't become fast at chopping because I wanted to or because I tried to. I did it because I ate this way all the time. And I like fresh ingredients. I like this kind of stuff. And I like chopping. I like working at it a little sometimes. Not just 10-minute meals, but also this sort of thing. It's nice to have balance and variety. So let's oil my other board.
So yeah, a few people were saying if I get a nice board like this, I want to make sure I'm oiling it properly and taking good care of it.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, because this is,
I would say
it's not $100, but it was damn near.
It's almost more important to just make sure that every time you wash it, it's fully dried.
Oh yeah.
Than to worry about the frequency of oiling.
Here's my board that I've used on the show for years. This is my new board because I got the Christmas present too.
Did you wrap it for yourself?
From the company. No, I think you did. No, I didn't wrap mine. So first of all, oh, you hear that? You can hear a little space because this board has warped slightly. If that's the case, then you can flip it over, and now it'll be warped up. The concave side is this side. It's very indistinguishable, but that's what happens when your board gets really old. Renee bought me this board years ago, and it's lasted years on this show, and I bought a replacement recently. And but this is how you oil it. So you oil your board, and don't worry that just because you're oiling your board doesn't mean that you're getting, your face is kind of cut off. Has it been that way? Oh no, not. It's just on the screen.
I just went up to see you for a minute.
I got you. It's not like you're ingesting oil in your food or something because you've oiled your board. Your board's gonna absorb the oil. You're not getting any oil, so you don't have to worry like, oh, I'm oil free, I shouldn't do that. No, it's no big deal. Not all oil is bad for all things, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I just take a big bunch of paper towels and another 2.5 hour show. Wow, 2 in a row. And I just go like this, put on some oil. You'll get the hang of how much you want to use. I've done it where I use way too much, and that does not matter. It's just a waste of oil. And you just go like this. And this is called cutting board oil, but you could probably use mineral oil. You might want to Google it. I can't remember if this may very well just be mineral oil for all I know. The mineral oil in this product, so there you go. It's an edible, it's a food grade mineral oil. And you just take your paper towels and you just rub it in. You can see the board darkening. Very nice, very nice. And then you want to get everywhere, you know, because a cutting board is made out of a lot of pieces of wood glued together. So you want to get all around the edges. So then you can squirt some more oil right, whoops, onto. Don't get oil on your granite because it will stain. And then just rub your sides real nice. Get into this little. Oops, can you see there? The crack there. Get all up in everything. So all around all these edges, and both sides, obviously. And if you have a different tool than a plain old paper towel, and use that. It's a 2-minute job, so I don't pay much attention to what I'm using, because this is easier. You just toss it. Oil's so nasty. I don't want like a dedicated cutting board oiler, because then I gotta have it sitting around all the time. And I don't like the feeling of the slimy oil. So this is kind of my maxed out amount of oil touching. And that's that. The board is oiled, and you want to do that every month or so. And then like Reeves was saying, definitely make sure you don't leave your cutting board wet. Use a plastic scraper. Like if you let your cutting board dry with some food ingredients on it from chopping, you can use a plastic scraper like that. Got oil all over my switcher. And you can scrape it off. And then first cleaning it, and don't ever immerse it in water. You want to keep as little water away from a little water in contact with the board as possible. You're really only using water and you can use this to scrape it. So you're just using the water to clean it, and you don't want to get your board saturated with water at any time. So I'll hold it kind of in the empty sink, and I'll scrape it, and I'll have the faucet on, and I'll get everything off like I like, and that's good. There may be stains on your board from when you did cranberry pico or whatever, but it does not matter. A little stain on your board is character. It means that you're using your things and that you're a healthy person, okay? So there you have it, an oiled board, a sharpened knife, and a happy, healthy kitchen.
Well, just like with everything, it's not like anything gets like too dirty, or you have to worry about, you know, salmonella in this kitchen.
Right. You don't have to worry about cross-contamination. I get some people who say, oh, what about the flavor of the garlic and the onions in your board, and is it going to transfer to the other things? Well, what do I make that doesn't have garlic and onion? So how would I ever notice? So I don't really have that worry, but if you're making like a lot of sweet stuff that you wouldn't have garlic and onion in, I suppose you might have some flavor cross-contamination from those things, but boy, do I not care. So that's the scoop on sharpening. I think that the most important tools, and then I just roll this up and I put it up with my cutting boards and my slots above the stove. But cutting board, a knife, the sharpener is a great tool. Can you get by with a cheap kitchen sharpener? Absolutely you can. Don't let this be an excuse not to eat healthy. Don't let a fancy board be your excuse.
Well, you saw this was 10-minute meals. We bought all the pre-chopped stuff, all the frozen stuff.
Here's the like $10 or less cutting board from IKEA that lasts not as long because it warps way faster. This will last years. This will last a few months for me. In this climate. I don't know about you, but this is the IKEA board, which works perfectly fine. You still need a sill pad under it so that it's not sliding around, because that's very dangerous. But you don't have to have a fancy board is all I'm saying. I prefer wood over like the plastic ones because the plastic ones are so loud when you get to chopping. They're really noisy. Aside from that, you know, a decent stove or even a portable induction burner is fine. Most people aren't using a bunch of burners at a time like we do on the show. And then a decent set of stainless steel pots and pans, like we talked about that versus non-stick. Let me get rid of this. And my stainless steel pots and pans, it's a set from Costco. I don't know if Costco currently sells a stainless steel, but it says Kirkland's signature right there. I got it in 2015 when I moved into this house, and they're spotless. They're perfect. Why would I ever upgrade? I mean, they're so good. So, and then you got, you know, aside from that, you got your blender, you got your Instant Pot, maybe a food processor, and once you have those things, you know, then you're just getting frilly. Like the Rebel Smart Oven Air, unless you use it every day, it's kind of a frill. I mean, it's not a frill. We use it all the time. It's very important for us. If you've been around for a long time, you remember that I fought it. Reeves wanted it, and I'm like, that's ridiculous. An oven, we have a double oven. Well, it's actually exceptional. It's really a good product, but it's not needed. The things I'm talking about are more needed than that. So, you know, as you get invested over time, you're going to acquire things. You know, ask for this for Christmas, and then next year now you're going to eat this way forever. You don't have to have every toy and gadget the day you get started. Everything we did here was on a cutting board with a knife and a stove. You don't need, yes, we blended, but you could do what we did today in a little $20 Walmart bullet blender. The Magic Bullet's like 20 bucks. Yeah. And you could do it. Will it be this smooth and perfect a texture? No, but you'll be getting healthy. So that's the difference. So that's my preach on the tools. Thanks to those of you who stuck around for the demo. Thank you for being here for the live cooking show. Reeves, come say goodbye.
Okay. We have some food to eat.
We got some food to eat, and I can't wait to get started. What did we do today? We made this delightful I keep calling it Ethiopian stew because I've heard it named that before. Yeah. But African stew is what we were going to call it, but I don't know. If you got names, of course, you can always let us know. We made a simple 10-minute stew, which you can let simmer longer like we have. We made, I don't even remember, we made the stuffed sweet potatoes, we made the mushroom stroganoff, and we made the most delightful mushroom, bacon, lettuce, tomato, and many other vegetables wrap.
The alphabet wrap.
The alphabet wrap. And it was really fun. I hope that you take these recipes and apply them to your current meal rotation. Feel free to sub out some of the ones you were getting sick of, but maybe you still got the potato corn chowder in there because it's so good. Yeah. And then you swap the one out for the other, and you've got just, you know, half a dozen recipes that are your go-to every day. Keep those ingredients in stock, and then you don't have to know what one you're going to make tonight because you've got everything for all of them. Yeah. So that's the ticket. Especially with this, I mean, you can have all the frozen ingredients in the freezer ready to be grabbed. We didn't use any weird stuff, you know. We don't always have portobellos, but if we were making this, we would just use the regular mushrooms we already have in the fridge. We did the portobellos because they're cute and they're strips and it's nice looking. But it doesn't matter. A portobello and a brown regular old button or cremini or whatever they're called is perfectly fine for that dish. We did it on the San Francisco Oats video recently, and yeah. Thank you all for joining us. Don't forget to sign up for the free trial if you haven't. Yeah. It's only going on till the end of this month. wellyourworld.com/cooking show, and all of these recipes will come straight to your inbox. So we'd love to have you. And yes, you'll have access to all of the replays, including this one, so you can come back to everything. All right. Thank you all for being here. I had fun. Thanks, Reeves, for all your support too and answering all the questions. And we will see you next week. Well, your weekend. Have a great time. We love you. Thank you all for the support. Bye. Bye-bye.